non-refundable entry fee. The performance is Saturday, December 3rd at 7:30 p.m., $5 spectator fee. For details and rules, visit roswelltheater.com. Central Valley Electric Cooperative in Artesia has an abundance of used, no-value power poles they need to clear out. Poles are free to anyone who can use them. You can use used power poles for a variety of things, from fencing material, garden borders, retaining walls, and more. Bring a truck and trailer, and our friendly warehouse staff will load them for you during regular business hours.
If you have an item for Talktivities, email it to calendar@pvbcradio.com. That's calendar@pvbcradio.com.
The Great One, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. There have been more than 250,000 coronavirus cases in China the past 3 weeks, and the daily average is rising.
Officials in China are trying to reduce economic damage by using controls that confine millions of people to their homes. The ruling Communist Party is promising to reduce disruptions from its zero COVID policy strategy by making controls more flexible. But this latest wave of outbreaks is challenging that. Major cities, including Beijing, have closed off populous districts, shut stores and offices, and ordered factories to isolate their workforces from outside contact. China's infection numbers are relatively low, but the ruling party is trying to isolate every case. I'm Charles Dilatasma.
More bodies have been found beneath collapsed buildings in Indonesia, where the death toll has risen to 268 following yesterday's earthquake. American voters respond to the midterm election results.
A new national telephone and online survey by Rasmussen reports and the National Pulse finds that 48% of likely U.S. voters believe Republicans winning a majority in the House of Representatives is good for America, while 34% think it's bad for the country. Another 14% say the GOP taking control of the House will not make much difference. While Republicans eked out a narrow majority in the House, Democrats managed to maintain control of the Senate. 44% of voters believe it's good for America that Democrats kept their Senate majority, while 41% think it's bad for the nation, and 13% say it won't make much difference. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Shaping up to be a busy week of holiday travel. In Oakland, Joe Rodriguez traveled by train. He couldn't afford to fly.
I was going to fly over here, but it was too expensive. They wanted it like $300 for a one-way, and I was like, well, that's too much. And I found out the Amtrak, only $42 one way.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
My name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold, the highest-rated precious metals firm in the country. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Hi, this is Dennis Prager. As you know, the culmination of my life's work has been writing my Rational Bible Commentary series. I have done Genesis, Exodus, and the just-released Deuteronomy. They are all called the Rational Bible because my approach is entirely reason-based. So if you're looking for the perfect holiday gift, even for someone with no faith, in fact, especially, I recommend giving them my Rational Bibles. Go to PragerStore.com. You can buy them individually or as a complete set. That's PragerStore.com, or click the banner on my website.
The Red Cross says Afghans will struggle for their lives as the country braces for its second winter under Taliban rule and faces plummeting humanitarian conditions.
Red Cross Operations Director Martin Schweppes says an already dire economic situation in Afghanistan is set to become worse as the Taliban face international isolation and sanctions. He says the Red Cross has stepped in with stopgap measures like paying the salaries of 10,500 medical staff every month. The Taliban's return to power in August 2021 fundamentally transformed Afghanistan, driving millions into poverty as foreign aid stopped almost overnight. Jeremy House reporting.
It's also likely to be a long, cold winter in Ukraine, where energy officials say rolling blackouts across the country may continue through March after weeks of relentless Russian strikes. News and analysis at townhall.com. Ukraine's security services are conducting searches of one of the country's most famous monasteries to find out whether it's being used for Russian activities.
Photos released by Ukraine's security service show its agents in military fatigues standing in and around the ancient complex near grey-bearded Orthodox priests dressed in black. Until recently, this branch of the Orthodox Church publicly proclaimed it was part of the Moscow Patriarchate. In May, it declared independence due to the head of the Russian Orthodox Church's backing for the invasion of Ukraine. The authorities are checking it's not being used to harbour saboteurs, Russian intelligence agents, or to store weapons.
That's the BBC's Danny Eberhardt reporting. Best Buy's profit and sales slipped in the third quarter on weakening demand for electronic gadgets, but the retailer beat expectations and says a downturn in sales this year won't be as bad as expected. More at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
That's right.
Yay.
The two-est of all the days.
A holiday week Tuesday.
Indeed. This is technically a Wednesday. Oh, sort of a Wednesday.
Yeah. I could officially say this is probably like your Friday, actually.
Kinda.
For some.
Yeah.
Some will fake it for a day or for half a day tomorrow.
I got to cram as much work as I can into the next couple of days to get it all done and front-loaded.
Yeah, it's kind of busy for us today.
but
yeah,
we'll make it through.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
Programming note: we will have a live show for you today, obviously, because here we are, and tomorrow, and then no show Thanksgiving and Friday.
Right.
We'll have
Best of Hugh
Hewitt for those 2 days. So. We will have playoff football on Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
On our sister station, 990 AM, and its translator, 93.7 FM in Artesia. Artesia Bulldogs are in the state championship game, traveling to Farmington, New Mexico to take on Piedra Vista, the Panthers.
Indeed.
That game will kick off at, is it 1:30 or 1?
Kickoff is at, pregame is noon 30, kickoff is at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, very good. For some reason in my head, I was thinking, did I see 1:30 somewhere on there? But no.
Turn the cans down a little bit. It's really hot.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that better?
That's better.
All right, good.
I was like, why is it so loud? Why am I so loud in my head?
I'm sans cans. I want to get my ears some air this morning.
I understand.
You know, my dogs are barking. I need to get them.
My ear dogs, you know the ones.
But yeah, so but we'll have that for you on Saturday. So, how was the rest of your day yesterday, Ed?
It was good. It was. I mean, we made it through. Mischief managed. Yeah. I did, however,
he had the kids with him yesterday.
Yeah.
When I left Sean after work yesterday, he looked like he needed that Calgon commercial. Take me away.
Well, it's just okay. I love my children. I really do. But these work days that I don't have them with me are real nice.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just my son does not stop talking. He does not stop. There's no stop to him. I actually checked.
Apple don't fall from the tree, huh?
I checked. I was like, can you just stop talking for 5 seconds? And I counted, and he made it to 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I was impressed. I was expecting 2, but yeah. No, I had a moment of realization wash over me this morning.
Yeah.
As I'm dropping the kids off at Grandma's house, and that is, I have nothing ready yet for the trip. Like nothing.
No
I've packed a bag.
And what time y'all leaving tomorrow?
Shortly after the morning show. Yeah. So tonight looks like, but luckily the kids' clothes are pretty much packed up. They stay in their bags. I just got to throw some stuff into a bag for me. It's fine. My sister has a washing machine. I can honestly just take the clothes on my back and be fine.
Nothing says family when you show up with dirty laundry day one.
There you go.
It's like,
actually,
family.
That's a good point. I'm going to bring a garbage bag full of clothes with me because I don't have a working washer.
Hey,
dude, that's awesome.
You don't mind packing it,
yeah.
and unpacking it. And,
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, take advantage. That's what families
Show up
for,
with a
right?
backpack and a hefty bag.
That's right. Wait, and the real baller move is to jump right in front of your sister and say, "Hey, not too much starch."
Just I like a little fabric softener, but a lot it's me itchy. So I'll be back around in like an hour.
You want to really feel it brave? Try that move and see how it gets you.
That's that ain't gonna fly. That dog won't hunt, as they say.
Oh man, but yeah. So well, that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
What's the ETA distance?
It takes roughly 8 to 9 to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, give or take.
With kids, probably a little longer because
lean more towards the 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also the you jump the hour when going to Central Time.
Oh yeah,
so.
you do gain an hour.
Yeah,
going.
I think it works out to where I'll probably end up getting there like around 8-ish, give or take.
Okay.
8:30. But that will minimize the amount of night driving I have to do, which is my big concern. Night driving and dusk driving, more specifically. Dusk driving is actually worse than night driving for me.
Is it?
Dusk and dawn are like the worst. I'll sit there, I'll drive around like this, blocking out the horizon just to see the road. Because it's that gradient of the orange mixed with the road.
Why don't you get my blue blockers thing situation going?
Actually, I should just borrow she got them.
I returned them.
I should borrow Miss Amy's sunglasses.
I'm serious. You should get. If I didn't have these glasses that are too big for those things now, you and your glasses are small. They'd fit like a champ over those things.
You're talking about like the sunglass?
Yeah, that you fly over.
Yeah, that's not going to do me well at dusk or nighttime.
Oh yeah, well,
they're dark.
That's it. Well, you're trying to get. Oh, you're looking because the light's in your way.
Right,
or not in your way.
It's dim. It's so dim that I can't actually make out the road below it.
My problem gets the other way when it gets so bright that I can't see.
Yeah, bright I have no problem with because I have, over time just gained the ability to just not look at light. So I'll just focus on the dark parts.
What dark I can deal with. I can't deal with when it gets uber bright and I put the visor down and my eyes are like, still hurts. So, yeah.
My car, it's interesting when you find out the features that my car does not have.
Yeah.
And one of them, which, you wouldn't think it too big of a deal, my visor doesn't slide.
Oh,
not a big deal, right? Except for there's never a sun in this part of my window. It's always over here somewhere. I can't slide the thing, so I have the visor and then my hand.
So I guess it doesn't move to the...
It comes down, or it will come down, but it won't slide.
So you can't disengage it and then spin it around to cover your...
I can do that, sure.
Okay.
There's just no extender bar.
Okay.
To extend the visor where I actually need it.
So it does have some movement if you need to move it to the side window, basically.
Yeah. If I was 7'1", that visor would be fine for me because I could just lean forward and be fine. But down here, it ain't working.
Well, and that's something I noticed with the Jeep because I'm right up on the windshield. So it's all right there, which I kind of dig. That's kind of because I'm literally the windshield's a foot, 2 feet from my face, Dude, like where other cars are more stretched out.
I saw a nightmare scenario the other day. I was driving down, I want to say Alameda. I passed it was like a white Ford Taurus. License plate, never. No, I'm just kidding. No windshield.
Really?
That seems like the biggest nightmare on the face of the planet. Just constantly getting wind smacked in your face.
Yeah.
You have to go everywhere at 5 miles an hour.
Not to mention
the bugs.
That will say you open your mouth, you got lunch.
Yeah.
On the way.
You're all set.
You're going to Artesia. Some of those things that hit your windshield.
And that's where my mind went. I was like, you're going 80 miles an hour. You're teaching this thing.
That one was meaty.
A witchetty grub? didn't think they had those in this part of the country.
Guitar teacher, I'm full.
Loaded down.
Yeah, all that protein. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We do have a full slate for you. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to have Pastor Jim Ridgway join us. You might recognize Pastor. He does the services out on the courthouse lawn. Friday night, you see him out there. Yeah. Well, the gig, exactly. Yeah, they're going to be doing Thanksgiving on the courthouse lawn Thanksgiving Day.
Nice.
I believe I think it's 11 to 1. We'll get all that information from Jim, but we'll talk about that just and find out where he's at on volunteers and stuff, because I imagine you could always use some more volunteers to help him out if you'd like to be a part of that, or donations. And, of course, come on down and enjoy some food and fellowship, too, on Thanksgiving. So we'll talk with Pastor Jim Ridgway here in just a few. My 8:15 guest is called, and they're sick this morning, so they're not going to make it in.
Ironic.
But around 8:30, we're going to have Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. Also with her will be Sergeant Grace Frescas with the Roswell Police Department. You might recognize her from Neighborhood Watch and things, but she's actually partnered in the Historical Society, and they've got this big project going on, the Chihuahuita Project.
Yes.
And it's about the preservation of history of that area, as well as a revitalization. It's a kind of a several-pronged approach for this thing. And so they're going to talk all about it with us here at about 8:30 this morning. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Barbara Gomez with Main Street Roswell is going to join us talking about, of course, Thanksgiving this week. Well, right after that is Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and all of that good stuff. So she's going to join us to talk about all what Main Street Roswell has in store for all of that here about 9:15 this morning. And if that's not enough for you, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety, along with your Town Hall Wall Street business updates and your Kim Commando and all those other updates.
You gave us a real, but wait, there's more.
Act now and get not one, but two interviews for the price of one. So, so that's what we got going on. Full plate for us for today. It is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at your kinder, gentler weather. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. No big storm systems headed our way. Things look fair all the way through Thanksgiving Day. About 60 on our high today. We have high pressure over the Four Corners covering our area, so we should get a mix of sunshine and clouds. Cloudy overnight down to the low and mid-30s, and then we'll get a few clouds on Wednesday, but some sunshine as well. Our high in the mid-60s. Cooler but sunny Thanksgiving Day, low 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 25 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 75%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. Expect a high not quite 60, 58 today under mostly sunny skies. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 31. Winds out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny skies, mid-60s for a high tomorrow, 65 with winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tomorrow night with an overnight low of 35 degrees. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thanksgiving Day. I don't know what happened. Yesterday was all looking good. We were looking, and it was supposed to be like they were talking upper 50s and not too bad. And then sometime yesterday, they just changed the back half of the week for us. So after Wednesday, things start to get a little chillier. For your Thanksgiving Day, partly cloudy, 47 for a high. Winds will be breezy out of the north, 15 to 25 miles per hour. We are looking at a slight chance of rain showers Thursday night, a 30% chance of rain before 11, then it changing over to rain and snow mixed. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 31. Friday, we're looking at a 30% chance of snow before 11, then it changing over to rain showers. Partly cloudy, 45 for a high. Chance of precip is at 30% on Friday. Friday night, a 20% chance of rain showers before 11, then it changing over to snow. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 31. They don't mention accumulations or anything here with that rain-snow mix. I'm not sure. But But yeah, it was supposed to be nicer yesterday. I don't know what happened. And then for the weekend, Saturday, sunny skies, 53, and then 56 and sunny on Sunday. They were talking like 67, 68 yesterday, those days. Man, I don't know. Something changed and not so good now. All right, it is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a 4-minute break, and then Pastor Jim Ridgway will join us here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,926 head of cattle sold on Monday on the steady to higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold 5 to 10 higher, feeder cattle 4 to 8 higher. Packer cows and bulls sold steady, 3 to 400 pound steers 240, 262, 3 to 400 pound heifers 186, 199. 4 to 500 pound steers 221, 261. 4 to 500 pound heifers 169.5 to 186. 5 to 600 pound steers 187, 221. 5 to 600 pound heifers 160, 169.5. 6 700 pound steers 171, 187. 6 700 pound heifers 155, 160. 7 800 pound steers 150, 171. 7 800 pound heifers 141, 155. Packer cows 70 to 78. Canner and cutter cows 60 to 67. Packer bulls 85 to 91. Feeder bulls 75 to 80. Top half the cow calf pairs $1,200 to $1,375 per head. Top half the bred cows $1,000 to $1,400 per head. We appreciate the business. Have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Have you noticed the days are getting shorter? This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we're on the downhill side of the year, so every day is a couple of minutes shorter than the one before, even though your plants need plenty of food and water to keep them healthy. Like those globe willows that are turning yellow. A good dose of the right fertilizer will make them bright green again. No matter what the problems you're having, we probably have a cure at Roswell Seed Company, but come see us soon, because winter's coming, you know.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Health insurance is more affordable than ever. Attend a free Be Well NM information and enrollment event to find the right health insurance for you, your family, and your budget. It's this Thursday, December 1st, 3 to 7 p.m. at the Chavez County Joyce Center in Roswell.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Pastor Jim Ridgway back with us. Morning, Pastor. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike. You doing all right?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Man, if you got any better, I wouldn't know what to do with it. You know, some days you got that day you just got to say Jesus, and you got to say Jesus more frequently, more louder,
exactly.
And to more people. I was like, yeah.
And generally, the closer you get to big events like the one we're about to talk about here, the more you're like, all right, Jesus, we need a little help here.
I know you're here.
But of course, if for folks not familiar, Pastor Ridgway here, he is one of the people responsible for the gig, the church that you may come out to on Fridays on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn, and come out and enjoy fellowship and praise and worship and food a lot of times and things like that.
Yes,
well, if you've seen that come out like on a first Friday or any Friday really out on the courthouse lawn, well, we invite you, and even if you haven't heard of it, we still invite you to spend some time with us on Thanksgiving. Once again, the gig, they're going to be doing not only food, but praise and worship and everything here. So we're gonna have a good old Thanksgiving celebration on the courthouse lawn here, Thanksgiving Day, and all who are hungry and who would love to be a part of it, you're invited to come and join us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's basically it. Is just a Thanksgiving meal, some time and fellowship and things together, and celebrate and be thankful for the things that God has blessed us with, and that's all we're doing on Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've been kind of putting this together and stuff. Several of the different pastors in town, Dexter Cowboy Church, Jackie down there, Lawrence from Hope Center, just a bunch of the different churches and pastors and stuff are, helping out and stuff, and they're going to come down and bring a word. We've got a couple of praise and worship teams coming out and stuff. And this event mostly, the big deal is a lot of people just don't have somewhere to be. Okay. And it's a good place they can come and fellowship and, just be around people and stuff like that. Come down and see, it's amazing to me, when you do an event like this, people come down and say, gosh, I'm glad I came. I hadn't seen that person in 18 years or whatever, you know what I mean?
It's as much as a family reunion of sorts as it is, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and old friends and stuff like that. I haven't seen him since I got out of prison, whatever.
Exactly,
what I mean?
Yeah.
And stuff. And like I said, it's just an opportunity for us to give back to the city some, you know what I mean? And again, we thank Roswell and the citizens here. Everybody here, is always so generous and stuff like that.
Well, you guys can't do what you do without the generous support of people, businesses, just the community in large.
Right. And when you do an event like this, you need it's not just it's the getting stuff. Okay, and then what do you do with it until you give it away? And so
it's got to sit somewhere. It's got to store somewhere.
Yeah, like Super Meat Market. Javier down there, he's been super.
He does a lot for the community and stuff too.
And he said, my freezers, my storeroom, everything's available. You know what I mean, and stuff. And so we've had a lot of help. Like I said, the logistics of everything.
Sure.
And especially doing this. Okay, no one's ever done the Thanksgiving dinner on the courthouse lawn. And so, we're setting up tables, chairs.
It's a very public place where people will probably find it on Thanksgiving Day, just happen to see a bunch of people gathering on the courthouse lawns. What's going on over there? And kind of mosey on over. That's the idea anyway.
Yeah. Year before last, last year, we did about 120 dinners from the sidewalk.
Oh, wow.
We had all dinners all made up and stuff like that. And we just stood out there with a sign that says, honk if you love Jesus, free Thanksgiving dinners.
Oh, wow.
And we had people, everything from people in Mercedes, from, what I mean?
All walks of life.
To the homeless.
Yeah.
Okay, can I get a dinner? Yeah. We're traveling from Colorado. We're traveling from Texas, and we don't, get out, let's pray.
Sure. That's just it too, is how many people don't have plans, or plans fall through, or life is dealt them a few blows here, and they're having a little. And it always seems to happen at these more stressful times, like the holidays can be. And so for I'm sure those people at that particular day, you were a gift from God at the right moment, at the right time, kind of thing.
Yeah, we hope so. And we're going to have a set of part-time. Okay, for we do open mic anyway. You know what I mean? But during the day tomorrow or Thursday rather, we'll have people, if you've got something that you're thankful for, get up here and share.
Sure.
If you have a story, what's God done in your life this year?
Let's inspire each other with our own stories and messages.
That's exactly right.
And experiences.
Yeah, we're doing a wedding on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this popped up on the radar here relatively shortly ago.
Yeah.
And how cool is this, where not only can we give thanks, but celebrate a union as well, too. And so they're going to have a heck of a reception. We're going to have a bunch of people on the courthouse lawn celebrating thanks and then celebrating their union. So that's great.
I actually got married on the courthouse lawn the first night of the first gig 13 years ago.
Oh, wow. So it's a little full circle moment for you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's absolutely great.
That's cool. So. Well, you and your wife should do it together as to perform the ceremony as a kind of a homage to your own marriage, I think.
We're all over it.
That's great.
We're all over it. Like
love
I said.
Love it.
And again, we have we're going to have meals to go too.
Excellent.
Okay, if somebody wants to come by and get a meal, you don't have to. I don't have any requirements for anything.
Sure.
Just come.
Well, and let's face it. Our homeless population. They. Some of them want to be there, and some of because of mental health things like that. But my point is, they don't want to be hanging around people or talking. So if they're like that, it's like here's your meal. Go and do you. But I want to make sure you have a meal today. Have that.
I had somebody call me a few days ago, and they said, and it was a story was being done and stuff like that, and they said, no, so this is a meal for the homeless. I said, the homeless are welcome, of course.
Sure.
But this isn't just for the
it's
homeless.
It's a meal for people with mouths and stomachs.
Yeah, this is for everyone. You know, we're cooking plenty of turkeys. We got plenty of pies, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we're just, like I said,
it's a reminder that we're all children of God, and we're all brothers and sisters. We all share the same planet. Let's all give thanks together. Who cares where you're from? Who cares how much you got? Who cares how much you don't got? We don't care. All we care about is today. We're celebrating what humanity and God and Thanksgiving.
There you go. Yeah, and like I said, we're expecting a big crowd and stuff like that. The weather keeps flipping and flopping on us, Mike,
it's good. It's messing around with us here. I thought it was going to be nice, and now it's not looking as warm as need be. So.
47 degree on the thermostat has nothing to do with how it feels with the sun coming through and stuff like that.
It's all about the wind, and the wind is going to be the killer. It's supposed to be a little breezy, I think, for the afternoon.
Yeah, and again, we do the gig down there and stuff. We start in May and stuff like that, and so it's amazing. People don't care.
Yeah,
they come down to hear the word of God and to be in the presence.
They get warmed by the environment when they're there.
Yeah,
there's plenty of love to go around to warm everybody's hearts.
Yes, sir. So. Yes, sir. And again, we're doing shut-ins too. You know what I mean? The Salvation Army is doing
some deliveries to shut-ins and things as well.
Yeah,
awesome.
The Salvation Army is doing a great big deal. Early Thursday morning and stuff like that. And if they've missed somebody, we want to be sure.
You're the kind of catching the back end and
or whatever.
Picking up slack here.
Right.
Awesome. Great deal. How about volunteers and things? I know you have a great group, but could you always use more people to help you on Thursday?
We can always use some volunteers, and even if they come down and serve for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that, bring the kids down for a minute. Just let them get involved for just a minute. You know what I mean? No one's too young and no one's too old.
I think one of the things I love, and now granted, I don't have kids, so I'm being a bit hypocritical here, but if I had some, I know... one of the things I think I want to do, especially in the world we live in today, is make sure those kids appreciate what blessings they have, and to do that, and to showing how important it is to serve others. And there's never a better way that I can think of is on days like Thanksgiving or really any day, but going and serving at a place like this, coming and helping and serving people the food or helping to set up the event. I know so many kids that kind of didn't realize how good they got it till they serve or work at an event like this and see kind of the other side lives a little bit.
It's an eye opener. For
it's a reminder.
It's an eye opener for us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah. It's to me, it's one of those things. It's sad, and you wish no one had to. But I also am. There's a bit of an inspiration too, and what I mean by that is look at what this person's going through, and they're surviving and doing well. How great is the human spirit, where you can kind of see that no matter no matter what obstacles you throw at humans, we find a way to survive, to live, to do our thing, and so. So there's evidence of that too, and so it's inspiring and heartbreaking at the same time. So it's just something that I think kids should be exposed to, obviously at appropriate age, but something because the only way we make the next generation of servants is by showing them the way young, and if we don't give them that information now, when we're gone, they don't have that tutelage or that workaround to keep going.
Yeah, the word says, "Teach your children the way they should go."
Absolutely,
and that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's an opportunity for people just to get together and stuff like that, help one another and stuff. And the homeless. It's amazing to me. Everybody's like freaked out about the homeless and stuff like that. They're never rude. Anything like that, they come down, they'll come down to the gig and grab a hamburger, a hot dog, something like that. They're grateful. They sit there and listen for a little bit, and they leave. And I've got people say, well, why don't you serve after the service so everybody has to sit here? I said, because that's not what I do. Yeah. And that's not what God would have me do. You know what I mean?
It's people are God hungry. Gave you free will, and what people always say that. I'm like, God gave us free will. At the end of the day, it's your choice to do these things.
Yeah. And people will come and grab a hamburger. You know what I mean? They'll leave, and they'll say, well, they should have stayed. Let me tell you something. while they walked up here, they heard the word of God. While they were getting their food, they heard the word of God, and while they were leaving,
And it is a sprint, not a marathon.
That's
okay. They just came for a burger today. Maybe next time they're going to come for a burger, but one of these days they're going to stick around a little longer. Things in their life are going to happen, and hopefully it inspires them to hang out after the hamburger one day. It's all about some. Especially I'm thinking in the homeless community, that's part of establishing relationships. You're not like if you go in there trying to crowbar your message down their throat as soon as you see them,
right.
you're going to get a lot of resistance. But just hanging out, being a friend, here's a sandwich. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing today? You need a blanket? Here's a blanket. I'll see you tomorrow. And then at some point, they're going to build a trust. They're going to build an establishment, and then they're going to want to listen to you because now they trust you a little bit more. It's all about humanity and how it is. When someone comes in yelling at you, are you more receptive to that than someone who's being a little more human to you?
Yeah.
And that's how humans work.
And that's kind of what we're hoping for on Thanksgiving Day. That we'll be able to bring a little bit of hope and just be able to show some love. You know what I mean? That Christ has shown us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that people just have they get it a little bit. You know what I mean? And we might even win a few to Christ.
Absolutely.
That's the
and
job.
If one person it does, then you won. Then the bunch of hours, all the Thanksgiving, all the things that went into this was worth it. If one person
absolutely
found God on Thursday, that's
our hope. I tell everybody, I said, this whole deal is just bait.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's to get people to come down so that they can hear the word of God. You know what I mean? From different pastors, different denominations,
absolutely,
from different individuals.
Sure,
it's amazing. You'll sit there and go, "Why aren't you a minister? Why aren't you?" Well, I don't know. Well, you just did deliver a message, don't you know?
Right.
What I mean?
Absolutely.
Stuff,
Well, and you think about it. You look at Jesus, and he didn't necessarily preach from a building every Sunday. He was out and doing his thing, and that's kind of. This is kind of the ministry you're doing here with this kind of stuff. You're going to the people. You're going to where the folks are. And if you have to make people come to you, they're going to be a little apprehensive. Where you're like, hey, I'm here with a bunch of gifts and fellowship. Come hang out with us, and that's and you go to where people and where people that don't necessarily want to come to these places are going to feel more comfortable in a place that's more public, but something they could go away if they're like, all right, too much, I can walk away.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to bring in more people through a less traditional method, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and that's the deal about the courthouse lawn. That's absolutely completely neutral ground.
Sure.
Okay, and we've learned it during the gig. We have Catholics hanging out and hugging Baptists and and on and on and on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, God's creatures are God's creatures. Don't care what denomination you are.
Stuff. And you can't get a Baptist to go to a Catholic church, and you can't get a Pentecostal to go to a Methodist church, and on and on and on. But they all come down to the gig, and nobody knows who everybody is. Okay, they're in one family and one body. Loving on God.
Well, and that's just it. It's it's. I think you realize there's more in common than different. At the end of the day, y'all are celebrating the same end game here. God,
come on, preach it, Mike.
The semantics and the details. Who begat this and where and what, and which way you hold the cup and all that other stuff. That's semantics.
I'm not smart enough to follow all that. I'm sorry.
Each religion has their traditions and things, and great. God bless it. But if you did kneel right or whatever, that's not your ticket into God, into heaven. That's just not it. It's just believing in God and understanding that Jesus died for our sins, and that was our penance. Jesus paid for it. At this point, we just got to live as close to how God wants us to live. Be good human beings, help each other, and do these things, and believe in God, and that's it.
It ain't rocket science.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. You don't have to change the world with your amazing brain or your amazing skill set of running or whatever it is that gifts that God blessed you. It's just being a good human being and believing in God. That's all there is to it.
There it is.
Being good to your fellow humans and believing.
Yeah. And that's and we're believing God for this Thanksgiving event and stuff like that. This is bigger than us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And stuff. So we know it's Him. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's just a wonderful opportunity to bring the city together and stuff like that. And just have like we're saying, just have a good fellowship, have
Absolutely.
a good time together, and everything. Grab some food, and take some food with you. You know what I mean? Take some food to your neighbors.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like I said, yeah, if you got some shut-ins that aren't on the pastor's list here, please reach out and we'll be happy to give you meals to take to those
if you know somebody, okay, take one with you. You know what I mean? We're not worried about it.
Yeah, this isn't about it's about the meals. We wanted, that's the carrot we're dangling here. But at the end of the day, we just want you to come and see the blessings that God has and what God can do for you.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
The details on all this, you guys will be out there from 11 to 2 on Thursday.
Right.
So if you're hungry and things, about 11 is when everything's going to be start gathering. I imagine there'll be a gathering of people and crowds, but way before that. But at about 10, everything will start serving.
Yeah, we're going to start setting up about 8:30 and stuff like that. Set up the sound system, PA system, set up all the chairs and tables and the hot plates and the grills. And
Gotcha.
Like I said, the logistics of this
Sure.
is like,
Yeah, you forget it's just a patch of grass out there. Yeah, and is there even power? Do you have to bring in like light towers and stuff to get some power?
We have generators and stuff. We have power there also, but we also bring a generator because you never know if a breaker is going to flip.
Well, and anytime cooking griddles, that sucks up juice. A lot more than people realize. That short of an air conditioner, those kind of things are probably. I just know from our remotes and things, you plug in an air conditioner and they generate. Next thing you know, all your juice is gone. But those cookers and things can add up.
We're
to
bringing
that too.
electric. We're bringing propane grills and hot.
Yeah, those will help. But those electric skillets and things, those will suck up some
We're
juice.
bringing microwaves so that the dinners that are going out, we put them in the microwave for just a few minutes so that when it hits that house, they're going to have a hot meal.
Oh, nice.
So.
Dang, you guys, what's that? You're going to have a clothed waiter to deliver it?
I'm not sure we're going to get that far, but we are going to. We have a group of servers coming and stuff like that. The Dexter High School Student Council.
Oh, the student council is going to be helping out. Oh, cool.
They called and said they wanted to come down and stuff like that. And
I love
everything,
that.
And they said, we've got a community project we need to do. I said, are you coming for the project or from your heart? She said, no, we're coming from our heart. I said, we'll sign off. We'll get you the credit. Don't worry.
Whether how it starts one way or another, it's going to end up with your heart. Either way.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that the kids want to get involved.
When you get in the presence of God, it just, it overtakes you. You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the point. Here's the thing that we don't know is sitting in that group of kids is the next Pastor Ridgway, the next, mayors and leaders and community people. They're the ones that are going to have to pick up this baton when we're all too old and grizzled to do it.
We never know who we're talking to and what it's and the seed that you plant.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, Mike. Is planting that seed for the next generation and stuff like that.
And the older you get, I think the more you realize that. Like in your wisdom of life, they say we gain wisdom as we gain, and I believe that, and it's true. Other days I question whether my wisdom all worked. But anyway, we do that, and the older I've gotten, the more that layer has pulled back and saying, oh, you're seeing the forest from the trees when you're young.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard, but
yeah, duh. You remember the old commercials when the guy slapped himself in the forehead and says, I could have had a V8.
Yeah.
I could have just, all I had to do was this.
Yeah, that light bulb moment is like, dang, I've been fighting this for years. And
everybody's, well, it's so hard to serve God. It's so hard to walk with God. No. Only if you make it that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. Same principle, same logic there. One bite at a time.
Yes,
Some
sir.
days you're going to fail. It's not, and that's okay. It's what you do afterwards. You pick yourself up and keep moving. We're all going to keep screwing up. We're human beings. We're going to screw up probably as much as we do good. That's just, sometimes it happens. But it's how you come back from that. It's how you deal with that. And it's what you do about it when you do wrong. And that's life in a nutshell.
It's just real simple. You wake up in the morning and say, Father, forgive me for what I'm going to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put the words of my face, the words of my mouth, the people in my face you want me to talk to. It's all I can do today. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But anyway, we just, like I say, we appreciate you, Mike. You know what I mean?
Anytime.
You're always so gracious to us and stuff like that. And like I say, we just want to make sure that everybody knows, come on down. Everyone is welcome.
Absolutely.
we still need some canned goods. And
Okay, so if you
like
take
that.
some more, if people like to bring some donations
Yeah,
and things.
if people want to bring some stuff, some canned goods and stuff like that, we have a drop off. There's just a table sitting out at 500 South Union.
Okay.
To set it out there on the table and stuff like that.
And we'll make sure it gets to people that need it
yeah.
or use it for the event here on Thursday.
Right.
So.
Yeah. If we don't use it, we'll pass it out, stuff like that.
There's a great network of people that really, like you said, that donate and things that are, but there is, obviously like our Harvest Ministries, and we have some other great organizations that do a lot, our community kitchen, things like
Right.
that. But they all do a great job because they're all doing the same thing, helping people in need. They kind of work together, work in concert. So when you've got extra here, or hey, we're going to give it to these guys, or vice versa. If they got extra here, they're going to help this one over here. That's commonplace. So whatever you go and don't use an event, you'll make sure one of our other entities get it
Right.
to help others in need.
Like Mark over at Harvest Ministry and Brad at the community kitchen. I was talking to them, and I thought, I don't want to do what you guys do on a daily basis.
That's a lot of work.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, it's overwhelming.
And Mark with the Roadrunner Food Banks, he's actually kind of the Southeast New Mexico connection for Roadrunner and all that. So
Yeah, he's the hub.
So
Yeah.
he so the statewide stuff go through him for this area too. So he's got a lot of logistics to handle and do.
And Brad down there at the community kitchen, he just has a heart for God. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's been
and they
doing
just quietly do their thing day in and day out. You know, people know, or people just realize it, but they just kind of quietly fly under the radar each and every day. Just volunteers regularly come in, which is awesome. I think they get people that just sign up regularly, and they're constantly serving meals at the community kitchen there, and it just keeps working and going. It doesn't matter. Windstorm Goliath, they just handle it, keep going. We'll do our thing. We'll figure it out. It's an organization that I'm scared to think what this community would look like if we did not have it.
Right. No, you're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So this Thanksgiving, Thursday, come on out to the courthouse lawn, 11 to 2. Do you mind if I give your phone number if anybody's any questions, everything?
If
you'd like
need that number.
to donate or volunteer or have any questions about anything on Thursday, or perhaps you maybe, hey, we've got our group, we'd like to add to the bring our potluck to the party.
Bring what you got. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like I said, if somebody wants to drop some stuff off at 500 South Union, the Super Meat Market,
right there on by Lawrenceburg, or not Lawrenceburg, show my age,
and stuff like that. And the things that we're short on right now is like dinner rolls, stuff like that.
Okay, so the breads and
that can be dropped off at Super Meat Market, or they can bring it to the courthouse lawn early.
Sure, because that's that's not something you need to put out to cook or pull, warm up or anything.
Yeah.
You can just...
And if they can't get a hold of me, they can always call Pastor Jackie from the Dexter Cowboy Church at that 420-6416 number.
Okay. And then, of course, Pastor Jim's number is 575-626-5358.
Yes, sir.
And please come. We'd love to invite you. I don't care who you are, where you come from, how much money you got or don't got. You're invited to come out and be a part of our celebration here at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're not taking up donations. We're not asking for offerings or anything else. We just want you to come and just be in the presence of God as much as we can present Him.
Absolutely. But of course, if you want to bring things to give to others, we'll definitely help you do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got it.
And if you are in need, if you're in help, please reach out. Please come in. This is what the gig does. They help people. They through God they help people. And we as much as we want to bring people to God, as sometimes if people reach out that are in real need of help, this is sometimes that event that brings that to the forefront, and they're willing to come forward and get that help that they need. So that's another part of I love these events is you always meet the one or two that you're just like, man, they finally reached out. They could need help or they need something, and could have been years, could have been just months that they were not ready to do that. And that moment happens usually it's like Thanksgiving or something, just the tide tilts the room,
Right.
you get and so I guarantee we'll have at least one of those on Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely, positively. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, just give me a call at 626-5358 if you need a dinner delivered or something. If you want to come and volunteer, we're going to need some people to do some deliveries, stuff like that. Or you call Pastor Jackie at 575-420-6416.
If you got talker friends, you got one that you can't shut up.
Pardon?
If you have friends that love to talk, you can't. Someone kind of like me that just keeps running their gums. They make great delivery people. Because because sometimes, like you said, with shut-ins, you're not just serving a meal. Sometimes you're their social human contact for that day, and so conversations, things like that.
And the people who are delivering, I ask them, please, when you give them that meal, pray with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't just give them the meal.
Give them a prayer.
Pray with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just a simple, it's amazing to me, Mike. Sometimes I'll just walk up and just, something, God's never going to love you more than he does this day. And you'd be amazed at how many people will tell you, you don't have no idea how bad I needed to hear that today. And so.
Yeah, the meal is kind of the window dressing to get you in the door. It's the love that comes with it. That's the real gift that you're giving.
Yeah, so while everybody's walking around today, just walk up to somebody and say, Jesus loves you.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll get a couple people look at you weird, and the rest will be like, thank you.
It don't cost you nothing.
It doesn't.
And
it could make an impact in someone's life. You just made someone's day. How many?
Just that one little thing, do you know Jesus loves you?
Yeah.
And just,
being nice to someone is the greatest gift someone does sometimes for people. It's free, and you don't know how many people's days went from, am I going to make it through this day to, what, maybe there is some goodness left, and I'm going to that kind of it lifted the spirit to get through today. So sometimes that's all we need. But pastors, always appreciate it. I'm sure you got a bunch of logistics to handle at the moment, so we'll let you get to it here. And again, folks, come on out. Spend Thanksgiving with the community. Come on out to the Chavez County Courthouse lawn here downtown this Thanksgiving Thursday between 11 and 2, and come celebrate with us. Come if you'd like to volunteer. Come on out if you'd like to donate. We still got some needs. You can drop all your donations, food things, either at Super Meat Mart there on 2nd Street, or you can contact Jim here direct and ask questions. 575-626-5358. If it's something that doesn't work in that scope and needs something else, he can tell you what to do there. So.
Yes, sir, Mike.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you here, and if I don't see you between now and Thanksgiving, have a blessed Thanksgiving.
Come on down. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. All right, 7:51. Let's get you into news and pay a few bills before more news. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The Eddy County Sheriff's Office has issued a missing persons alert for a Carlsbad boy. Kyler Fernandez is a 14-year-old boy. He was last seen in the 300 block of East Orchard Street around noon on November 20th. He was wearing a red sweatshirt with black polka dots and sweatpants. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is urged to contact the Sheriff's Office, 575-887-7551. You can also just call 911. A group of South American engineers recently visited Carlsbad to see how the city dealt with that massive brine well remediation site. The project has been a years-long effort to prevent the massive underground hole from collapsing a large part of the city. The Carlsbad brine well was used from 1978 to 2008. The engineers said they were hoping to better understand how to deal with similar situations in other countries. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Last Thursday and Friday, the Drudge Report ran as a top story an opinion piece written by a CNN reporter showing an upside-down Twitter bird logo, supposedly dead, and the headline on his last tweet, then followed by a question mark. The Reliable Sources column is at CNN, so it's no surprise just how unreliable it is. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by SimpliSafe. Save big on a customizable home security system. Get 50% off today at simplysafekim.com. Reliable Sources was a CNN show formerly hosted by the leftist Brian Setzler, and now it's a column. CNN states that with the Twitter engineers who are fired and those who quit because their conscience won't allow them to work for Elon Musk, there will soon be no one left to run Twitter. Right. Here's what was left out. Many of those former Twitterites are running over to TikTok for a job, to go to work for the Chinese communists. Obviously, there's no problem with the conscience there. Try my new Daily Tech podcast full of news, tips, and advice called Kim Commando Today. Dell Technologies Black Friday event has arrived with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 50% off select performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget about special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL, 877-ASK-DELL.
At T-Mobile, we believe people deserve more without paying more. That's why the new iPhone 14 with its amazing camera is on us, and Apple TV Plus is included.
It's like expecting one caroler. Deck the hall with and getting a choir.
Switch and get iPhone 14 on us with eligible trade-in on our Max plan.
With 24 monthly bill credits plus tax for well-qualified customers, contact us before canceling service to continue remaining bill credits or credit stop and balance and required finance agreement is due. Apple TV Plus on us up to $499 value. See T-Mobile.com for details.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. No big storm systems headed our way. Things look fair all the way through Thanksgiving Day. About 60 on our high today. We have high pressure over the four corners covering our area, so we should get a mix of sunshine and clouds. Cloudy overnight down to the low and mid-30s, and then we'll get a few clouds on Wednesday, but some sunshine as well. Our high in the mid-60s. Cooler but sunny Thanksgiving Day, low 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It's basketball season, and it started yesterday. Actually, started on Saturday with the Goddard Lady Rockets winning over Deming at home by a score of 45-33. The Rockets jumped out to a 22-10 lead in the second quarter, and that 12-point margin pretty much held firm for the rest of the game. So Goddard is 1-0. They will take on Gadsden today at 5:30, another home game for the Lady Rockets. Meanwhile, if you're wondering about the other schools for Goddard, the other teams for Goddard and Roswell, the Goddard boys start next Tuesday at Clovis. For Roswell, the girls basketball team starts next Tuesday as well with a game at Santa Teresa. And the Roswell Coyotes boys will be starting also next Tuesday with a road trip to Las Cruces to take on Organ Mountain. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Workers at the largest U.S. rail union voted against a tentative contract deal reached in September, raising the possibility of a year-end strike that could cause significant damage to the U.S. economy and strand vital shipments of food and fuel. Train and engine service members of the Transportation Division of the International Association of Sheet Metal, Air, Rail, and Transportation Workers narrowly voted to reject the deal. Prosecutors in the Trump Organization's criminal tax fraud trial rested their case Monday, hoping to convict former President Trump's company, largely on the word of two top executives who cut deals before testifying they schemed to avoid taxes on company-paid perks. The nation's major shipping companies are in the best shape to get holiday shoppers' packages delivered. The U.S. Postal Service, FedEx, and United Parcel Service project to have enough capacity after struggling under the holiday crush for the past 2 years. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
If a sports injury is keeping you from the physical activities you love, the sports medicine team at Artesia General Hospital can help. Their orthopedic specialists and physical therapists work closely with you throughout diagnosis and treatment. No matter the injury, from ACL injuries, golfers and tennis elbow to foot and ankle pain, they'll get you back in the game. Appointments are available in Artesia or Carlsbad. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/sports.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
December 17th is National Wreaths Across America Day. On this day, wreaths are placed on the graves of fallen veterans around the country. Locally, American Legion Post 61 has a goal of placing 300 wreaths on the graves of veterans in Roswell, with special attention paid to veterans at Memory Lawn Memorial Park. Please help American Legion Post 61 by sponsoring a wreath this holiday season. Cost is only $15 per wreath, but the important thing you need to know is to get your sponsorship in by November 29th. Log on to roswelllegion.org to sponsor a wreath today. Thank you for helping support our mission.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 7:59. Stay tuned next hour. About 8:30 or so, we're going to have, we had an 8:15 guest, but they're a little under the weather, so not going to be able to come in this morning. So about 8:30 or so, we're going to have Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico and Sergeant Grace Frescas, who normally, by day is with the Roswell Police Department. You might know her from the Neighborhood Watch program. She does that. But they are going to be joining us next hour and talking about the Chihuahuita Project, which is a really cool where they're preserving history, but also revitalizing and things like that. So we'll talk with those two ladies next hour about that big project there. And then don't forget in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have Barbara Gomez and Main Street Roswell join us talking about Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and all the stuff they've got coming up through Main Street Roswell. All right, it is time for some news. So we will part ways for just a few to give you that. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. There's a looming railroad strike as we head into the holiday season. 7 of the country's rail unions have approved new contracts, but 5 have rejected the Biden administration brokered deals. Division at the UN over North Korea's latest missile testing.
The U.S. and its allies are strongly condemning North Korea's latest intercontinental ballistic missile tests and call for actions to limit its nuclear and missile programs. Speaking at an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield said the Biden administration will be circulating a proposed presidential statement which would condemn North Korea for what she called unlawful ballistic missile launches and other dangerous and destabilizing activity. Russia and China oppose any new pressure and sanctions on Pyongyang. I'm Norman Hall.
More bodies have been found beneath collapsed buildings in Indonesia, where the death toll has risen to 268 following yesterday's earthquake. More than 150 people are still missing. AAA predicts more than 54 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home this Thanksgiving. That's almost back to pre-pandemic levels. This man from Southern California says he's glad to be traveling again, even if it costs more.
Everything's getting back to normal since COVID, right? So you want to be part of that joy and part of those relationships, and that's what matters most, and we'll find a way somewhere, somehow.
President Biden and the First Lady paid an early holiday visit to Marines in North Carolina last evening.
Because as I said, you represent 1% of the population. You defend the rest of us. You're the backbone, the sinew, the spine of the country.
Ukrainians bracing for a long, cold winter. Energy officials there say rolling blackouts across the country may continue through March. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon 2 factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
Conservatives have made their demands known to Kevin McCarthy as he rounds up votes to be House Speaker. Now centrists are next in line, as we hear from correspondent Bernie Bennett.
The small majority leader McCarthy will be working with next year as he seeks the top gavel has undoubtedly bolstered the leverage of his conservative colleagues. But the House Freedom Caucus is drowning out clear signals from some members of the more moderate wing. They say McCarthy should know that any deal with unhappy conservatives could face resistance from centrists who see themselves as the GOP's majority makers. Whether centrists are willing to withhold their speakership votes for McCarthy on January 3rd, as some conservatives have indicated, remains to be seen. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
The defense chiefs of the United States and China have held talks on the sidelines of a regional meeting in Cambodia to discuss bilateral relations and regional and global security issues. It was the second face-to-face meeting in 6 months between the two men. News and analysis at townhall.com. Saudi Arabia has pulled off one of the biggest shocks in World Cup soccer history, stunning Argentina 2-1.
Argentina, who came here on the back of a 36-match unbeaten run and considered one of the favourites, humbled by the second lowest ranked country in the tournament. Saudi Arabia, whose entire squad is based domestically, were inspired. With both sides well supported in Qatar's biggest stadium, the atmosphere was deafening. In the first half, Argentina threatened to run riot. Lionel Messi stroked home a penalty, but after the break, the unexpected. Two super skillful goals from Salah Al-Shari and Salam Al-Asari, and the Saudis were suddenly ahead, a lead they scrapped and battled to retain. At the final whistle, delirium from the fans in green, for the hordes following Argentina, disbelief.
That's the BBC's Alex Capstick. The U.S. team will play England on Friday after settling for a tie with Wales yesterday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Deuces.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody.
Yes.
The eve of Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
So, tomorrow, the busy day of traveling and all of that preparing. The busiest travel day of the year. Is that still the case?
I think that Thanksgiving is the busiest travel day. I think it's like
that Wednesday before. Usually.
I think it's just ahead of the Christmas holiday travel season.
So if you are traveling, safe travels. Be careful.
Yep.
And check the weather if you're driving. And flying, for that matter.
I haven't been on a commercial airline. I haven't been on any kind of airline since 2001. Wow. I haven't been in the sky since before 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't like flying. It's expensive.
I don't love it either.
It's, I don't know, the fear factor.
Problem is
of the
I
whole
have
thing.
family on the East Coast, so I get in planes.
It's just the idea of like having to go, get to a destination and then figure out like a car, for example. But if I travel with my car, I got the car.
Yeah.
So,
well, I've done the road trip to the East Coast before, and it's not bad. I wouldn't, but I don't want to do it every time, But it was nice to. The reason I liked it because I got a chance to see things on the way, and that was because I never been to Oklahoma City, the memorial and everything.
Yeah.
So I got to do that. I went to Graceland. I drove through, and which, by the way, is amazing. But dang, there's a reason why Elvis's family's so rich. It's very expensive. It's over $100 to see Graceland.
Is it really?
For one person.
To go into a house? That's come on.
Yeah, it's
now,
the various tours that you can go, because you can have there's not just one tour.
They don't do like a self-guided tour?
No, you matter of
silly.
fact, you don't get on the like when you get there, you go to the visitor center across the street from the house. And that's where you get your tickets. That's where you leave to go on the tours.
Right.
Now they've got a little museum there. They've got like his car museum. I think a couple of his airplanes there across the street. Of course, they got places for you to buy food and stuff while you're waiting for your group to be called for the tour.
Right.
But then they pile you in vans and then drive you across the street to Graceland. And then you get in line and then go through the house, or and then from there, because once you finish the house, you can take another tour to go to like where all of the vault is, where all of like the hits are, and where they keep all of the platinum records and the catalog of his music is there. There's another place on Graceland property you can go see.
Now,
that.
I'm curious, is it worth the price?
For me, yes, because I was into it. But if you aren't that into Elvis, that's a lot of money to spend on something you're not into Elvis. But for me to see it and for me to walk through it, you just seen the prices. It is
Christmas.
It is, to me, I loved it. But yeah, it was crazy expensive.
Yeah, you really have to be into what?
I think Kim and I dropped
close
to $200 probably that day at Graceland, just between tickets and meals and accoutrement.
There's different ticketing prices, but the one they're really pushing, the Elvis Experience Tour runs between $44 and $77. The Ultimate VIP Tour is $196 per person. That's insane.
Yeah.
You get what
do they give you for that?
You get a tour of the mansion. You get a self-guided tour of Elvis's custom jets, which you could do that here. Full access to Elvis's Memphis Entertainment Complex, including Presley Motors Automobile Museum, Elvis the Entertainer Career Museum, and self-guided tours of the Elvis Discovery exhibit.
So you get all the property access to, because
basically,
and you can buy those individually if you want. I will tell you this now.
Ooh, and they give you the chance to purchase merch.
Well, guess what? You don't have to pay $200 to buy merch. You can do that for free, or at least for the cost of merch. You can walk in there and buy merch, and like,
ooh, you do get a keepsake backstage pass, so that's fancy
for $200.
Oh, but hey, get this! It's $196, but kids 2 and under are free.
Oh, there you go.
So just load up a school bus
with under 2-year-olds.
That's right.
I will tell you this now: if you've never been to Graceland, it's worth checking out.
Sure.
They will not take you upstairs. You do not go upstairs.
Is that where the magic happens?
Elvis, where Elvis's bedroom and the bathroom and where he passed, you do not go up there. That they don't let people up there.
Gotcha.
What you do is you go in, and here's something you're gonna because in your head you think Graceland's huge, right? Like it's a big, and it is. It's a big house.
Yeah.
But it's 70s big, so it's cozier than one would think. Like the house you look at, it's just, you see pictures of it and everything, and you're like, wow, it must be huge and palatial, and it is compared to what most of us live in.
Sure.
But it's still, at the end of the day, a house.
It's not like you didn't have like a movie theater or like
for 70s technology, it was probably because you go on 2 floors of the house, the main floor and then downstairs.
Okay.
The main floor, as soon as you walk through, there's like the foyer, and then there's the stairways to go upstairs, which you don't go. But like right to your left is the dining room. Like you like your house, you walk in, you turn, there's your living room. It's just like that at his. You walk in, and you're sitting in the foyer, like, there's his dining room. Here's like a living room. You go back, and now, granted, he was Elvis, so his is a lot nicer, and it's still decorated in the era in which he lived there.
And that's the thing is the era of like the 70s, the 60s, 70s was hella gaudy. I mean, like,
that
all the gold,
and Elvis
velvet.
was kind of a gaudy dude.
Oh, you don't say.
He is so it's very 70s.
Everything coated in velour.
Like he's got you've probably heard of like the Jungle Room and all that. You see all those.
Yeah.
You see those. And why it's called the Jungle Room, because it's got like green shag carpet all over everything. And then it's got floral print furniture, and I think it's one of the ones where you kind of look out over the property a little bit. So it's got a little more light in there. But you go down in his basement, and of course he's got a kitchen there, and then it's got a dumbwaiter to go down or up, which is highfalutin. There's some plumbing thing going on in the building.
Oh, okay. What is it?
And so you can go down. So they got the dumbwaiter, so it's got a little kitchen, which orange and brown with the
oh god,
think of the bulldog orange,
the 70s kitchen.
Yeah. And then but you can go downstairs.
Does he have an avocado green refrigerator?
I think it's the orange. I think it's I don't remember the refrigerator color, but I know there's a lot of orange in there, and there was some avocado, but I'm not sure if the appliances were. I think they were. But so you go downstairs, and while you're going downstairs, it's a narrow stairway, but there's like mirrors on the ceiling and everything. So it's like going down to a 70s disco club, and then you get down there, and that's where his little his chill room where he watched TV. But instead of, obviously now celebrities are going to have big screen TV and 1,000-inch TV or whatever it is. Elvis had the like when you look at like Nixon during his presidency watching TV, and there's like 4 TVs going on. Yeah. With things, he had that. He had the wall mount with like 6 TVs in there, which is state of the art for Elvis's time. They're all like 20-inch TVs. There's like 6 of them there, and of course, big tube TVs and all that. And then it had the shag carpet and it had a little bar down there, which Elvis didn't partake. It was his friends.
Right.
Elvis did a lot of things, but alcohol was not one of them.
Weirdly, yeah, he avoided that vice.
Well, and to be honest, the more I've watched documentaries and read about Elvis, he was, but his doctors were as much to blame as, like, in his head, he was getting everything prescribed by a doctor and thinking this is medically the right thing to do.
They were Dr. Feelgood in him.
No doctor was, like, telling him you're destroying your body doing this stuff, And so, in the late 70s there, when he ultimately passed and everything else, he was in pretty rough shape. But and then the part the cooler parts though is because there's the house, and that's typically like a house. But then this is where it gets more Elvis. You go outside, and he's got these acres of land, and they used to like race go-karts and golf carts around and crap and crash into each other. Nice. They did the posse and all that. So it was like their little 70s jackass, but for Elvis style,
Hi, I'm the king. Today we're gonna pushing people down shopping carts.
But then he also built, and it looks a little more modern than the house. He on the property he built at the time was a huge racquetball court area.
Okay,
and so this is palatial. Like you go in there and it's multiple stories, and there was the building stories. And then you go in, and there's the racquetball court. But he also had his recording studio.
Oh, okay.
And so he had like a lounge area with a piano and an area you could chill, and so Elvis and the Mafia would kind of hang out in there. He'd write songs and do his thing, get ready for shows and what have you. And they had a racquetball court when Elvis was like, I gotta lose some weight, man. I'm still the racquetball court.
I'll find a sport that I can move around the least.
Yeah. And so. But nowadays, they store many of his jumpsuits and things in that building, so you can still see how it was kind of laid out back when Elvis was there.
Right.
But they use that building now to showcase some of his memorabilia. But then there's one more room you go into, and that's his trophy room. And I'm not sure if that's what that was when he was alive, or it was something else. I don't remember off the top of my head. But you go in.
Elvis's appliances are mustard yellow. FYI.
Ah, okay. And you go in there and you walk into this room that, to be honest, is not that wide. It's about as wide as this room we're in, but 3 to 4 times as long.
Oh, okay.
And it's just lined with platinum, gold records, Grammys, all the stuff he's won over the years is in this room. And then they had other memorabilia like Elvis's military uniform. A couple more of his jumpsuits, some of his costumes from some of his movies he did. And that's where they kind of store the memorabilia. And then when you leave that, you walk out and there's his pool. And then right by the pool is the graves. That's where Elvis is buried.
Oh,
that's
wow.
where his mama, his dad, his little brother. The graves are right there. So
I was trying to find, there's a performance of Elvis that Elvis did when he was singing "Are You Lonesome Tonight," and he just starts breaking halfway through. He can't make it through.
Oh yeah, was that towards the end?
It was like he saw somebody in the front row that just started making him laugh.
Oh, I thought maybe he was physically unable to. Well, that was the beauty of his show.
Shall I come back?
He just couldn't make it through. The whole thing was I think he saw like a woman, like a fat lady in the front row, and he just starts laughing at her openly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was he was like, or no, maybe it was like a guy with a bad hairpiece, or it was something in the front row
tickled him
that just he could not get past. That's like one of my favorite.
But
clips
when
of
he
Elvis.
couldn't like call out to the public like that's a bad wig, dude.
I think he worked it into the song, like he worked it like a lyric into the song.
Are you lonesome tonight? Well, change that wig, bud. But it is so. Yes, it's expensive to view, but I felt me personally, I was happy. I was not upset spending that money. I figured this is probably the only time in my life I'm going to get to do it.
It's true.
It's worth the check out. If I lived in Memphis, I'd probably like no, I'm not doing this every day. But
well, it's like the UFO museum. It's like
right.
you don't frequent the place.
No, they tried to charge me $200 to see the UFO museum. I wouldn't be going there.
Up your game, UFO museum.
You could drag that Elvis plane out there. I'm still not paying $200. But by the way, he had more than one plane. And like matter of fact, the one that's sitting there, I think, is the Lisa Marie. The one of the planes that's there that he named the Lisa Marie and all that. His car museum's pretty cool. Like I did pay extra and go see the car museum, and there's a lot of Of course, there's Cadillacs, but there's so many different cars.
I've had this thought several times in my adult life, and that's I feel like it would be less fun to be rich before like now. Does that make sense? Like there's a Notorious B.I.G. song where the lyric of the song is Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Back when I was young, I never pictured all of this or something like that. But like the height of opulence to this like multi-platinum rapper was a Super Nintendo or a Sega Genesis. I was reminded with that wall of TVs. It's like you have all this money, but technology sucks kinda.
But if you don't know any better.
Well, yeah. I guess having modern sensibilities.
Because using that logic, 100 years from now, people are going to look at us like, man, what was it worth being a billionaire there for? Because they got to talk on a phone still, It's like,
but like you have millions and millions of dollars, and you decide to shag carpet a wall. That's a rough sell.
But in that time, that's what was cool.
Sure, I'm not trying to knock fame and fortune by any stretch of the imagination, but it just feels like it would be less fun. I think maybe by modern standards or sensibilities to have money back then.
Again, I don't think so. I think
but then again,
happy if you live
drugs have always
life.
been a thing. So,
well, I mean, I don't know if I've lived during, say, the 1800s. I want to be rich in the 1800s, not poor in the 1800s. And I want to have the amenities of the 1800s available to me.
The beauty of that is you do now.
I do now, yeah. It's a lot cheaper.
Insanely cheaper, yeah.
If you want to live like that. But, yeah, I mean...
That's what I'm saying, though. The people that were like oligarchs and the rich back in like the 1800s live essentially like we do now.
Yeah.
Just with, nicer houses.
Well, differently designed houses.
Sure.
For the needs of the time.
They had chamber pots, but they had really nice ones,
Well, plus families also probably they're bigger houses and things.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, families go off and make their way, but if it's farming and ranching, most of those families stay together and live in the big house. And if it's the kids become adults, they maybe build a house on the property too. But there was a more closer knit family, so a lot of people lived together. It was different times because the world's a lot bigger than it was now. It took you just didn't pick up a phone and call your friends, or you want to correspond with a human being. If they weren't there handy, you got to write a letter or hoof it,
smoke signal.
Yeah, maybe in the highfalutin fancy late 1800s, you could telegraph somebody, but
just. You pick like an investment banker in like 83.
Yeah.
He's like, like top dollar, nice suit and everything, gets out of a limo, and he picks up his Dynatac cellular telephone. No, I'm not calling from a payphone. It's a cordless phone. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just the whole.
But if you don't know better,
right?
If you do, it's hindsight's 20/20. We know what awaits us in 2022 versus what was awaiting us in 1822. It's all perspective.
It is. I understand.
So, Amy McVeigh-Tejas and Sergeant Frescus will be here in just a few minutes. My guest that was supposed to come in this time under the weather this morning, so they're not going to make it in.
The Health Council.
See.
Ironic.
They get colds like everybody else.
That's true.
But
you think they would know a guy?
It's 'tis the season.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving. How many of us are fighting colds and stuff every Thanksgiving? It happens every year. My wife's fighting one. I'm knocking on wood. I've been good, but I've been waiting for the shoe to drop. I've been waiting to wake up going sniffly.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I think allergies were bugging me a bit, and I got into a sneezing fit. My wife was like, "Are you getting sick?" I was like, "I don't think so." And I took my allergy spray, and it did subdue later. So
I got to tell you though, my it's as an adult man, I forget things sometimes, but I'm reminded when I have now that I have kids of certain things. Like for example, the power of Vicks Vapor Rub. That stuff is amazing.
I'm proud to report we bought a new jar of that.
Holy moly!
Like say about 6 months ago.
Wow. So we had a new lifetime supply?
Yeah. Well, I'm literally the jar that I replaced.
Yeah.
Was there before I met my wife. And so that was from the 90s.
I had now in fairness, I had to buy a new jar myself a couple years ago, but that was because my kid's mom got the Vicks in the separation.
Now, she's about to pull that old jar out again, and I said, "Dang it, we're buying a new jar." And I went and got new Vicks. And the problem was it was slightly bigger than the old jar, and it doesn't fit in the drawer anymore.
So what you do is you take the old jar and take the new Vicks out, and you butter knife it into the old jar.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like,
it's like when you order a milkshake at a diner and there's too much milkshake, so they give you the shaker too. Yeah. So keep your small container, butter knife off some Vicks into that.
There you go.
And then keep the excess up like on a shelf somewhere. You'll access that in 2037 when you run out
by
again.
the time I'll be dead, that'll be available for somebody.
It's the Vicks you pass on.
I leave my leftover Vicks, and I'm going to bequeath it in a will. I remember seeing it, and I looked and I said, this expired in 2003, Kim.
I thought it lost a little bit of its zing.
Use that same nasty
When
jar.
does this expire? It says the Bush administration. And it doesn't specify which one.
John Adams. All right, it is 8:26. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. No big storm systems headed our way. Things look fair all the way through Thanksgiving Day. About 60 on our high today. We have high pressure over the four corners covering our area, so we should get a mix of sunshine and clouds. Cloudy overnight down to the low and mid-30s, and then we'll get a few clouds on Wednesday, but some sunshine as well. Our high in the mid-60s. Cooler but sunny Thanksgiving Day, low 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 33 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 66%. Winds are out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. Andrew said, Vicks does not expire. Well, it had a date on it, and it was a good year for Vicks. Good vintage. But, it still did its thing. I just was like, you know what? Like the label was not even the same color anymore. It was time to change the jar. So I ponied up spent some big bucks getting a new thing of Vicks. For today, expect sunny skies, 58 for a high. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour, so pretty nice today. For tonight, partly cloudy, expect an overnight low of 31 degrees. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, warm tomorrow. Nice day. Enjoy it because later in the week, not so much. But for tomorrow, sunny skies, 65 for a high. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow night, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 35 degrees, winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. For Thanksgiving Day, partly cloudy, 47 for a high, and the part that really is not the bummer part, winds are going to be blowing out of the north, 15 to 25 miles per hour. For Thanksgiving night, we're looking at a 30% chance at rain showers before 11 p.m. and then changing over to snow after that. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 31. So they don't talk much about accumulations. For Friday, you're going to be getting up early, shopping, bundle up, and be careful. There is a 30% chance of snow showers before 11, then it changing over to rain showers, partly cloudy, high of 45 on Friday. 30% chance of precipitation. Friday night, we're looking at a 20% chance of rain before 11 p.m., then a slight chance of snow after that. Partly cloudy with an overnight low of 31. And then for the weekend, sunny, 53 for your Saturday, sunny and 56 for Sunday. All right, it is 29 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick pause for news and then a quick commercial break, and then we'll talk about the Chihuahuita project here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The Eddy County Sheriff's Office has issued a missing persons alert for a Carlsbad boy. Kyler Fernandez is a 14-year-old boy. He was last seen in the 300 block of East Orchard Street around noon on November 20th. He was wearing a red sweatshirt with black polka dots and sweatpants. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is urged to contact the Sheriff's Office, 575-887-7551. You can also just call 911. A group of South American engineers recently visited Carlsbad to see how the city dealt with that massive brine well remediation site. The project has been a years-long effort to prevent the massive underground hole from collapsing a large part of the city. The Carlsbad brine well was used from 1978 to 2008. The engineers said they were hoping to better understand how to deal with similar situations in other countries. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
This Thanksgiving, Roswell Honda has knocked the stuffing out of the prices. With a gravy boatload of savings across the lot that you gotta gobble up. Like a 2022 Hyundai Accent for just $339 a month, 2020 Buick Encore for just $299 a month, or a 2015 Honda Odyssey for just $269 a month. 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and super low monthly payments make this a November to remember. So don't be a turkey. With prices this low, there won't be any leftovers. Trot on down to the November to Remember sales event on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Eastern New Mexico University in Portales is proud to offer potential students the opportunity to attend ENMU tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. And now we are proud to announce the newly created Freshman Hound Housing Room Grant, which will allow students the opportunity to receive up to $3,000 per year off their housing costs when living on the ENMU campus. For more information on how ENMU is making higher education more affordable for you and your family members, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
The fully loaded Black Friday sale is on now at LGS Guns & Ammo. Now through the end of the month, save store-wide on all the stuff you need to make it a cool Yule. Like 10% off all firearms, including Ruger, Mossberg, Smith & Wesson, and more. 15% off all accessories and ammo, and even 15% off all Liberty safes. Not sure what to get? LGS gift cards can really stuff a stocking. Gear up for the Black Friday sale at LGS Guns & Ammo, Southeastern New Mexico's authority for guns and ammunition in Hobbs or Roswell, and at lgsguns.com.
The average American takes 8,000 to 10,000 steps each day, and for those suffering from foot problems, each one can be agonizing. The podiatry team at Artesia General Hospital can help diagnose and treat foot and ankle conditions, including diabetic foot issues, arthritis, bunions, or other problems. Doctors Joseph Marino and Joseph Krupa are podiatrists specializing in wound care, fracture care, foot and ankle surgery, and more. Put your feet in good hands. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/podiatry APPT.
Hi, my name is Claude Childs, Service Director here at Roswell Ford. We understand that when your vehicle needs service, you have a lot of options, and sometimes it's hard to know who to trust. That's where I come in. My mission and the mission for the service department here at Roswell Ford is the best customer service experience and ensuring your absolute satisfaction. We have a brand new service team of master certified technicians to ensure that things are done right. Our goal is to make sure that every customer drives away with a smile on their face. And if you have diesel engines or a fleet of vehicles, our team is one of the premier service departments in the region for diesel and fleet repairs. To show you the Roswell Ford Service Department difference, we invite you in for a free diagnostic report on any Ford vehicle, regardless of year or model. We are ready to set a precedent and to show you what quality service looks like. So come see us at the Tailgate Nation, Roswell Ford.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 33 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Sergeant Grace Frescus with the RPD, but kind of doing something a little different here this morning.
Yes.
Something not RPD related per se, but it is, but it isn't.
It is through Neighborhood Watch.
Yes, there you go. That's the angle. We'll go there. And of course, Amy McVeigh-Tejas with us with the historical side as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
So this is. Hopefully people have started to hear about the Chihuahuita project. This is, how many months now have we been kind of...
We started it in July.
Okay, get that microphone in front of you. That would be helpful. I'd probably forgot to tell you that part.
Well, we started it in July, and about the ends of July is when we started discussing it.
Okay, good deal. So it's been for a few months here now.
Yes.
So kind of, what was the inspiration? What was, was it just there? And
so let me tell you,
like your family that lived from there?
I do have a lot of family in that area, and plus that was my childhood area.
Okay, that's where you grew up.
On top of that, we work with different entities throughout the city as a police officer.
Sure.
So throughout my career, we'd go over there because there would be a home that would be destroyed. If we ended up having to go over there for a search warrant, and so then code enforcement would have to get called out. But you'd kind of see these homes. It was really depressing to me. You'd see some of these homes, and they were made of adobe. Mm-hmm. So you kind of wonder, man, if these walls could talk. But then all of a sudden, you drive by again, and it's gone.
It's old history.
And I remember the comment that was always made was, it was easy to tear down because you could just water them down.
Sure.
So that
they don't
broke
make
my heart. And I
houses
said,
like
you know
that
what? No, done. This
Thank
is
God
ridiculous.
in some aspects, because we got better technology now. But
yeah, but I want to save that area.
Sure. Well, and I you know what I love about that? And I remember, this was my Boy Scout days. When I went, I got an opportunity to go to Philmont Scout Ranch up in Cimarron, New Mexico there. And they actually taught us the procedures for making the adobe bricks and how they do it. And it's a very painstaking process and things. So anytime you see those still around, they're historical because they don't make them that way anymore. And so are there still some of those buildings still left in the Chihuahuita area?
Very, very few. They're very, very few.
So
now,
we want to keep the ones we got left.
Yes. And actually, it's pretty interesting because there's still, and it's so neat, there's some still foundations that are standing there from old dwellings that were part of a church in the area or part of a store.
So you kind of want to do a little archaeological stuff there and see what you could dig up.
All of the above.
And a lot of those businesses, a lot of those foundations are still a family that still exists to this day here in Roswell.
Still modern ties to those properties and those facilities. Mm-hmm. So we want to bring that to light and to research and to give it. And obviously, the one entity that preserve the history of our Southeast New Mexico is the Historical Society. So it kind of makes sense.
She's a dare woman.
She's like, I'm going to use my detective skills here, and we're going to. But it makes sense to partner this way because a person with a passion to preserve it, and let's see how we can do that. And obviously, this is right up the Historical Society's alley. This is what we do: is we preserve history, and we want to make it available to future generations. So
I think it's important to say when Miss Grace called the first time, first of all, her passion was evident. Second of all, it was clear that she's in some capacity doing the job of the Historical Society and doesn't realize that she's already part of our family.
Unfortunately, it takes people with passion to get things done sometimes.
It does.
It's just life happens, and even with the Historical Society, right? You kind of in the forest there trying to handle your own fires, and you don't see all the others going on and around you sometimes. And this is kind of one of those areas where you need someone like Grace, Sergeant Frescus here to say, hey, this is something that we're losing, and we need to preserve it.
Yes.
Otherwise, the next generation of New Mexicans, Roswellians, will not know what was here before they were here.
And I know our Vice President, Christina Arnold, and City Councilwoman is very supportive. I think uniquely...
It's always good to have some of those on your side.
And then uniquely connecting the dots is Dr. Heidi Huckabee.
Yes.
And her husband was so passionate. I think it's interesting. Christina and I are addicted to a book called Super Connector.
Okay.
And if you started connecting these dots of how God has opened the doors, passing the baton from the late... Dusty Huckabee onto somebody like Sergeant Frescas that is so passionate. We're just honored to be a part of it. And anyway, we can help. We had a board meeting last night, and even at our board meeting, we stated your passion's evident, and any way we can help, we're all in. You know?
Well, and this
we want
project's
the whole
bigger than
community.
preserving adobe bricks.
That's
this is about
right.
the
Exactly.
culture,
That's
the people.
right.
Yes.
It's more. I mean, yes, the
Yes.
bricks are the visual.
That's right.
But it's so much more than that. Like, we want to maybe, if we get to restoring or at least making these places sites for people to visit or something. I don't know.
That is definitely something we've discussed. So number one, I do want to say that I'm very, very, very proud of that area. There's so many things that we can do to that area.
Sure. But how much would it just revitalize? Because, just the people that live there and turn it into the more of the arts and cultural stuff that, even downtown's kind of embracing now. If we spread that into the Chihuahuita district, I can't imagine that's nothing but good things for that. Keeping that flavor, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and my understanding is it's a 10-year project. I know that we had discussed that, but we're slowly working on it. We've discussed, even possibly doing a plaza there.
Okay.
Yay.
Because...
Yeah, a gathering place, a place where the neighborhood, the
that was
community
huge.
could
Back
do
in the
something.
early
Yeah.
1900s and late 1800s, it was huge. There was one celebration through some interviews that I did that was really celebrated, and that's el 16 de septiembre, which is the 16th of September.
The
and
real
it's Mexican Independence Day.
not Cinco de Mayo.
But no, not at all. It's Battle of Puebla.
Yeah. That's just a day you drink Coronas or whatever.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Deal with people like Sergeant Frescas later that day.
No, because I will be among that group.
That's right.
She'll be on that. That's funny. That's awesome.
But who's to say in the future we can't have the piñata fest there?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that would
to
be
me, it makes
absolutely
more
amazing.
sense for it to be.
Yeah,
there.
bring in restaurants, maybe businesses. The area is beautiful. It's full of it's a historical district.
Absolutely.
It really is, and people don't understand when they drive by what they're driving by.
But like Dia de los, like all the holidays that the Latin culture celebrates, I think that could be the center of it, and I think it could be an education center for it. So when dumb people like me come in and you're like, Dia de los, what's that, the skull thing? What does that mean? They don't know the whole story behind it.
Yes.
That's a place where I think would be a great place to be that festival, to educate, to celebrate, and do all the things that, in a community space that, let's face it, our community, the Latin community, but Roswell community in general, we like to gather. We like to get together. Our chili cheese festivals, our Piñata Fest, our different things. And why not put it in the home where I think most people would want to see it there, where it feels like the right place to have it. And I think Chihuahuita is that answer. I think it is.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is where we're trying to revitalize that district and make it...
Not only revitalize, I've lived here my whole life, and this darn town so often is split right down the middle. We talk about
that's a true statement. The
and on
north-south
behalf of character
stigma.
counts, immediately when she talked, in the back of my mind, I saw character counts and these organizations pulling together to realize at the end of the day, doesn't matter what color my skin or her skin is, we're all familiar, right?
Well, that's
and it
what I
is
love
all
about it.
our
Yeah.
history, and there's no part of history that's any more significant than the other.
I think it blurs that line a little bit, that
But
north-south
this hidden history, this gem that we need to clean up and polish, could be the
and I
go-to
can say
area. That's what we.
To build on that as well, the one thing I do want to take away is that stigma of Chihuahuita is a bad place. No,
Sure.
it's not, because I can tell you from personal experience.
You
believe me,
you chewed a lot of dirt
it's not
there.
just Chihuahuita.
That's
It's
your land.
all over Roswell.
Yeah,
and I'm curious because I would like to get the deep history. Like, why did Chihuahuita become Chihuahuita? Like, it was just the politics of the day where the Latinos would would move there? I mean, just how did it be there?
There were settlers from actually Mexico, from the state of Chihuahua, that were coming over, and that's where they settled, was on the south side of the river.
Their claim. They staked their claim for a new world, basically, there in that part of town.
And thanks to some earlier efforts by some people, such as Miss Heidi Huckabee's husband, Dusty Huckabee, and Charlie Varela, and another group of people that actually tried working on the Chihuahuita preservation, we were actually able to locate a map from 1910.
Oh, wow.
And it has the original street names, because the street names that you see in the Chihuahuita area are not the normal street names.
Okay.
It was
so
actually
maybe there's a city campaign down the road to maybe
we're already talking about that.
That's right. It does take a lot of work
the
to change street
sign,
names.
but then the drop down or whatever.
What's the kind of support from the people in the area? Are they all for this?
We've actually knocked on doors and did flyers and things like that, and people are super happy.
Sure.
We had a cleanup, as a matter of fact, on the 5th of November. And we started at 8 in the morning. Man, people were coming out of their houses and just pulling stuff. Hey, let's dump this. We had grapplers. The street trucks came by and picked it up for them.
Cool. So all the city resources got involved.
Every city, pretty much everybody from the city got involved.
What was the number? How much trash did we cut?
So we picked up over 31,000 pounds.
I heard that number yesterday, and
awesome.
It's a mixed blessing, because you're like, that's so great we cleaned that much up, but they're like, man, there's that much. And if you know there's that much cleaned up, there's still a bunch more there to be had.
But that location is my heart, because again, I grew up in that area. There's so many houses I can tell you. I played here, I played here, I grew up here, I was hanging out here. This is where we went after church.
So let me ask you this: how much has it changed since you grew up as a girl there?
It's fallen apart since I was a kid.
So it's declined a lot.
Yes, it has. Yes, and I'm stopping. I want to stop that.
Sure.
Right. And I will use my platform to do that.
Well, and this is unfortunate. We talk about with the what you said earlier about the stigma that people, that's the bad part of town.
Yes.
And it is because of, it's declined. It's the nature of the beast. It's anytime you get an area that people leave and it gets, to less people, decrepit, abandoned, it just draws in a criminal element, because they need safety and security too, and they want to do it in a place that's under the radar, where guess what? That's in those abandoned buildings and things like that. And so over time, that just, as more people leave and more people, leave those abandoned buildings and things, it changes. And so just that a lot of that's happened probably over the last 20 years or so.
Right.
And so it's time to kind of bring it back the way it was.
Well, through preservation comes pride. And so hopefully even less crime. And it's actually been statistically proven that with that pride and that preservation, it'll lower.
So I'm curious. I mean, obviously you grew up there and things, but did this really spawn through Neighborhood Watch? Like you were forming some groups there and said, there's more than a Neighborhood Watch I could do here.
Well, not just me wanting to get Neighborhood Watches started. The Neighborhood Watch program also would like to encourage growth, communication to the actual community.
Absolutely.
And so that's what this is all about as well.
Sure.
So
this is community policing. This is at its finest. This is what community policing is.
But I also want to help build or rebuild and share the history of Chihuahuita.
Give pride back to the area.
So that's why I want to use my platform to the best of my ability to do that.
Sure, absolutely. And I would imagine, too, coming as a police officer, there's more people that are, like, let's face it, if another police officer didn't grow up in that area, they're probably not going to be as receptive to open doors and talk to you as someone who grew up there. I imagine some of the families you talk to, they're like, I remember you getting in trouble in my front yard and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a kid, and you're the one who was doing this, you know, and so they already know where you come from. So it almost takes someone like you to get the others on board, someone that comes from there, someone that chewed the dirt that the people that live there have done. And people that are outsiders, we can talk all day, but we won't make the headway that someone like yourself can do. So it's almost needed.
On the cleanup day, there was power, and when we were handing out flyers, some of the response through the community would be, "What are you doing here?" And then when we told them, And I was asked again, what are you doing here?
Sure.
And when they realized we care. Another powerful thing on that cleanup day, we had so many entities out there. How many people do you think? Hundreds.
We had 100.
I think once people realize what's going on, they're like, all right, let me grab my
New Mexico
equipment.
Youth Challenge Academy came out.
Job
and
Corps.
they were all lined up. In New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy, one of the young girls lived 2 blocks from me.
I was about to say,
And
I
it
would
was-
imagine there's a
see,
few
and
of the
it's
youth
just
challenge
all
people
these
that
dots connected.
born and raised there too.
That,
Yeah.
Pioneer Bank was out there as well too. They lent a hand to Alien Jeepers. I think obviously Job Corps.
Pioneer Bank's amazing because they kind of have an army of volunteers
do.
ready to
They are
go
an
for
army.
anything, and you
That's
call them
right.
up and get them on board, and they come
That's right.
full force to help
They
out. They
do.
do it all the time.
So many churches were out there. I mean,
Yes, and we had so many sponsors too. They were wonderful. Stellar Coffee. They had wonderful coffee out there.
Backland
LNF
Fuel.
distributors. We had our little, and I'm so glad that they donated the water and like the electrolyte drinks because everybody was so tired and dehydrated, and that perked people up, and they went back out to do their thing.
Keeps them motivated. Keeps
Yeah.
them, ready for the next round here. So where are we at now? What can the public do? What do we want to
So the next
put on people's radar now?
So the next thing, and it's open to the residents of Chihuahua. So the December 9th.
Okay.
I am hosting at the Boys and Girls Club a meeting called Conchas y Cafecito.
Okay.
And it's just a sit down with the community of Chihuahua. How did the cleanup help you?
Okay.
What more can we do as a city?
Gotcha. So
But it's also going to be a greeting of the mayor, their city council representatives, because people out there didn't really know who they were.
They want to see the representatives, the people
and
that
to meet
that-
them, to
that-
talk to them. Yes.
Awesome.
Maybe even talk to somebody from solid waste. If you guys ever need to dump stuff, this is how this works.
Sure.
You know, things like that.
Make sure they're aware of city resources and how to utilize them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
And so then the next cleanup, Lord willing, will be in January.
How much is a language barrier an issue there? Or, I mean, do most people...
A lot of people are bilingual.
Are they bilingual, or is there some that are just fluent in Spanish, so
and if
they're
they're
untrusting
fluent in
of
Spanish,
service?
I speak Spanish. I'm fluent and I read it
Sure.
and write it, so I'm good.
Good deal. I just was kind of curious whether there was a disconnect there between the city and
Nope.
Chihuahua as far as being aware of services and things. Is like, well, if they don't speak English, I mean, they don't understand that something's going on. And it's just a matter of they got this the facility. You can bring things there. It's free to residential and all this.
Well, a lot of your solid waste people also spoke Spanish.
Sure. I knew we had a lot. I just didn't know if there was some disconnect there. Maybe.
Yeah, no,
or-
not at all.
Okay,
No.
good. But this meeting was also one of those things to eliminate the disconnect here. It's like
That's
like,
another
hey,
thing you're trying to do.
Did it benefit what we did? Good. Now what do we need to do? Or that didn't help much. Well, then what do we need to do to make it help? And
Yes.
that's what this meeting's all about. And then, like you said, this is that chance for city and community leaders to come and say, hey, we're your representatives. We're the people that you turn to when you need help. And this is what we do. And make sure that they're aware that, there are sources to help when you have issues, when you have problems. And I know, and let's face it, it's human nature. We kind of want the path of least resistance. If we don't want others necessarily to take care of our problems, it's like, I'll handle it myself. Don't worry about it. But sometimes that can get in the way, and next thing you know, a problem gets just forgotten about or pushed. It gets kicked down the curb, and then next thing you know, that problem turns into a more major thing down the road. And it always happens. Just sometimes pride gets in the way and things
Right.
like that. So we want to take that off the table and say, hey, this is about community. This is about family. This is about our home, our neighborhood. What can we do to make it the greatest place on the planet for us to be here? And that's what this project's all
Yeah,
about.
and who's to say somebody coming from East Second, from another state, come through and then they see the big sign, because that's what would like to do.
Sure.
We would love to see if the
A
Chihuahua
welcoming.
resident. Welcome to the neighborhood, the Chihuahua Historical District.
Yeah.
Oh, we came through here and there were some wonderful restaurants, or there was a really beautiful building, or let's stop and eat here. Something
Sure.
like that.
I would love to see, and just how much of the Mexican culture we could, bring and use it to celebrate and educate. That's what I love about it. Is you have, especially, we have a lot of transplanted New Mexicans, people that come here and settle here that
Yes.
aren't from New Mexico. I'm one of them. I've been here a long time, but I'm from Maryland. I didn't grow up in I'm not raised here, but. So sometimes there's a disconnect between the local culture, and even to this day, I'm, a few things like I know of Chihuahua and things, but I don't know the deep history about it. I know that that's kind of where it started, and I also know that right now it's the bad part of town and things, and we want to
and that's
change
what I want.
image.
I want to change that image
Yeah.
because it's not. There's some wonderful people there.
It's a great community with some probably some of the oldest Roswell families call that home.
Exactly.
Or
Legacies.
Legacies of Roswell. We do heritage dinners and things every year honoring people and families that have made an impact here. How many of those people had roots through Chihuahuita? How many of those, I would say a good portion of them probably don't even realize it.
I think a lot about the little splash pad that's right there in that area off of 2nd. And, that was donated by the Murphy family. There's a lot of Murphy families out there, if you will. If you say, what does that have to do with anything?
Don't rock it a Murphy.
A lot of legacies could support this. The Historical Society, our part in this, our part is anything Sergeant Fresca says. but our part is encouraging people listening. If you did nothing but make connections to bring maps and pictures and photos to add to our collection.
That's what we're looking for,
At any time, you could call 622-8333 and make an appointment with our amazing archive committee, and I guarantee you Sergeant Frescas will be here, because anytime we get new items, she's like, I'm on my way over here.
Sure.
Heck yes.
and that's part of it too. Is we have some stuff from that area, but not nearly as much as we want.
And Dr. Heidi Huckabee, I'm going to tell you right thing. If we get that information in, she is scanning it in, and she's going to be on
she's
point.
She's delving in the archives.
So to add that, but number 2, just remember, no matter who's listening and where you are in this community, you can connect a dot to this project, because the vision of 10 years might be us getting construction companies and plumbers and groceries, everything. See, to me, in Character Counts, we see everybody coming together and making this a 5-year project and not a 10-year, because people are so supportive. Sergeant Frescas has a problem of how are we going to get all this done? Well, we can get it done because this amazing community shows up and comes together. And I would like nothing more than us to be the united community.
Yes.
That values a sweet little hidden treasure, that it pulls us together. And I just got goosebumps thinking, it doesn't matter whether you're from Chihuahuita or where you are. We are one big amazing family.
Well, that's what makes Roswell great.
Yes.
It's Chihuahuita. It's our neighborhoods. It's our people. It's the people that call this home. The people that have made this home. That's and it doesn't matter if it's the North End or Chihuahuita or just down by the base. It doesn't, wherever we're talking here, we're all one community, and maybe the Chihuahuita project's that reminder to all of us that we share this community. Let's all embrace it, and let's all, because we have, and we're so culturally diverse here. We have you've got the gamut of everything here. You've got and how many places in a town of this size, which we're the biggest small town there is. You know what I mean? It's just. And we're very fortunate, and we need to embrace that. It's no different than the other amenities. We talk about the airport and the zoo and these things, but we gotta embrace them. We gotta nurture them so that they grow. And Chihuahuita is the exact same thing. And I think for culturally speaking, it's right up there in importance with an airport, with the jail, with the zoo, with all the museums. It makes us who we are.
It puts things in perspective.
And for me, putting it in perspective was Mr. Charlie Varela. He had come through with a book of black and white photographs. And let me back up a little bit. So the cleanup where we were at, that's where the cultural center used to be.
Okay.
And it was built in the early 1900s, but that's where all the Latinos would go get together.
Okay. That was
all the men.
The social ground, the dances.
Yes. Well, we found the pictures, and it was, I almost started crying. I saw murals and just people coming to dances and getting together and hanging out. And you could see kids doing arts and crafts, and they would have shows. And I want to bring that back to Chihuahuita.
Yeah.
Because there's so much beautiful culture here, and we need to embrace it.
Yeah,
and that's the perfect location.
I'll give you one example.
In
that scrapbook, it was a lot of my husband's familia, right? Well, John thought I'd looked through the scrapbook. Well, I've been so darn busy, I haven't looked in there.
Chance.
So then he's sending me pictures because it would say Teas and Teas, and I'm, oh my gosh! And then it sparked this interest of most of the Teas family that's not even here in Roswell, that they can help wherever they are.
Mhm.
That is just such
Well,
a
the roots
significant part of
some
history.
roots go farther
so they
than others.
they got sparked, and that just is a reminder of how exciting it was.
It is.
Life's
So-
too short.
Absolutely, and it's
We need to come together.
and that would be awesome if we see a cultural center back in that, maybe in that same location. Who knows?
It'd be awesome.
If not, maybe up a block or two, but wherever
And bakeries and grocery- all these
just
fun
to see
things.
the neighborhood again, kind of that old feel of when you walk down the street to get your breakfast or whatever, and you get your paper on the way and go stop and see neighbors.
Yeah, but that's why we want to have that Conchas y Cafecito meeting, is because I also want to hear from the community members there.
Sure.
Because I'm not the one that lives there.
Well, they're the ones that live there.
They're
Yeah.
the ones that, yes, and I want to hear from them. What would you like to see in the future
Sure.
for your neighborhood?
Yeah. And I'm guessing they're going to tell us, because that's and
you go.
hopefully it kind of lines up with what we're thinking here.
Yes.
But at the
But
end of
it
the
may-
day, they're the ones that say
That's right.
no. And but this is why your input's important. So give out the dates one more time for that meeting.
So it's going to be November. I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep
December.
saying that. December 9th.
December 9th.
At 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And where is that again? What's the
At the
location?
Boys and Girls Club.
At the Boys and Girls Club there. So come on down.
And
If
let's-
you haven't seen the newly remodeled Boys and Girls Club, there's your excuse to go check it out.
And then let's remind them how they can get involved. If anybody listening wants to get involved in any way with the project,
Absolutely.
Can we give your email or?
Yes, so it's g.frescas at roswell-nm.gov.
Okay.
And I'd also love to talk to people. I'm doing some interviews. I'm kind of doing it a little bit rickety too. I'm doing it off my phone.
Okay.
For what it was like for them or their family in that area as
maybe
well. So 624-6770.
Okay.
Ask for Sergeant Grace Fresquez.
Very good. And of course, you can always shoot a message to the Historical Society, and we'll get it directly to
They can
Grace.
call the
or
museum
we
at
can-
622-8333.
Yes.
History Director at Outlook.com. Give us a call and we can connect you immediately if you wanted us to make copies of photos and maps and fun. Don't let that legacy and history go away.
Yeah, if start
Please
going,
let
go through
us
those trunks
develop
and
this. That's right.
Go through the attics and
yes.
basements and
during
yeah,
these holidays when you're cleaning and decorating, and if you find information, don't put that off. Give us a call. We can scan and input in. It may connect a dot that you never realized. We
Absolutely.
have that happen all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
that's
thank
a
you,
great-
Sergeant Fresquez, for your passion. I know we're part of Leadership Roswell, and I think our leaders need to step up.
Yeah, and
Show
by the
up
way,
and bring this
if
community
you're interested in organizing and forming a neighborhood watch in your
Hey,
community,
there
and
you
it
go.
doesn't have
Too.
already one, Sergeant Frescas is your
We
point
have
of contact
so
for
much
that.
fun with those things. We do.
That's good, and we need to have more fun. So there you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
And,
you.
well, we got to. Maybe we should get you back in around the 9th, or just remind people around that. Just a last minute reminder there. But
That'd be great.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So. All right, it's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
Agreement can't be reached. It could lead to higher prices and fewer goods.
The votes threaten the health of the economy just before the holidays and cast more doubt on whether the industry will be able to resolve the labor dispute before next month's deadline without Congress's help. 3 other unions rejected their deals with the railroads that the Biden administration helped broker before the original strike deadline in September. 7 other smaller unions approved the 5-year deals that include 24% raises and $5,000 in bonuses. But all 12 must approve the contracts to prevent a strike. John Scott reporting.
A man is being charged with reckless homicide after crashing his SUV through the front window of an Apple store in Massachusetts yesterday. 1 person was killed, more than a dozen injured. The Plymouth County District Attorney's Office says the 53-year-old driver will be arraigned today. The governor of Texas is taking immigration matters into his own hands.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is sending 10 armored personnel carriers to the U.S.-Mexico border. It's part of Operation Lone Star. This follows the governor's declaration last week that he was invoking a section of the U.S. Constitution to allow him to defend the border against an invasion of criminals and illegal immigrants. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Indonesian officials now say 268 people have died in yesterday's earthquake on the island of Java. The quake collapsed buildings, and search crews are still looking for more than 150 missing people. Only modest growth in the world economy is expected this year, and next year's outlook is worse. That's the forecast from the Paris-based Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. More details at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
Alabama is putting a temporary halt to executions.
Governor Kay Ivey is seeking a pause in executions and ordering a top-to-bottom review of the state's capital punishment system after an unprecedented third failed lethal injection. Ivey issued a statement Monday saying she had both asked the state attorney general to withdraw motions seeking execution dates for 2 inmates. She also asked that the prison system undertake a full review of the state's execution process. The move came just days after the uncompleted execution of Kenneth Eugene Smith, who is the state's second such instance of being unable to kill an inmate in the past 2 months. Keith Peters reporting.
Renewed concerns over Iran's nuclear ambitions. Iran says it has begun producing enriched uranium at 60% purity. That's one technical step away from weapons-grade levels. News and analysis at townhall.com. It's that time of year, sending holiday packages.
The big shipping companies feel pretty good about this holiday season. The Postal Service, FedEx, and UPS confident now after struggling under the holiday crush for 2 years when the pandemic started. You remember, that's when many of us hunkered down at home and turned to online shopping. FedEx just told the AP, we're confident and ready. UPS is hiring about 100,000 seasonal workers to get over the holiday hump. And it has this advice for you. Shop, buy, and ship early. I'm Rita Foley.
AAA predicts more than 54 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home this Thanksgiving. That's higher than last year. In fact, it's almost back to pre-pandemic traffic volume. Most Americans will be traveling by car this holiday. I'm Greg Clugston. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
That's right. Welcome to it.
We're having fun there right before got off air.
Yeah. Just the realization that Mike actually might have a sugar daddy.
I wish I could say what I want to say, but I can't.
I know.
I'm somebody.
Cinematic classic, really, the movie
It is.
Half Baked. You should go back and rewatch.
It is. It's
You know
one of my
what's
favorite
so
movies.
funny, though, to me? Okay, so the guy who plays Kenny in Half Baked, Harlan Williams. Okay, great actor, fantastic
Comedian.
whatever. I'm a father now, okay? As a father, you discover things about actors, actresses, whatever. Harlan Williams is not only a voice on a cartoon that my kids watch, but also the creator of the cartoon itself.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. The show Puppy Dog Pals.
I didn't know he created a cartoon.
He did.
Good for him.
He sure enough did. Puppy Dog Pals, for any parents out there, I'm sure you know the show I'm talking about.
Kid friendly and all that.
Oh, yeah,
it's not Harlan Williams.
No, and that's the
jokes.
thing.
Adult
it's
version.
so like as I love the show Bluey because they make the show good enough for kids, like with morals and values, but they make it for parents. They know that mom and dad are sitting here bored watching it, and so they put in jokes that mom and dad are going to get.
Gotcha.
I hate Puppy Dog Pals. Because they don't do any of that. It's completely to the kids. Later seasons, like 3, 4, oh, trust me, we've seen them all. The later seasons, they sort of start making adult jokes, references. They reference like movies that kids would never understand, but like we get Raiders of the Lost Ark. But the first few seasons are like nightmarish to get through because it's just so unfunny. And it's like, you're Harlan Williams.
Yeah.
Of
course, if people don't know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, so I'm thinking of more of his smaller parts. He was in, if you remember, Me, Myself, and Irene.
That's right.
He was a cop that pulled over Jim Carrey and he
drank the
open beers that weren't beers.
Yep.
And that's him.
Yeah, the face.
Down Periscope, he was the sonar guy.
That's right. Yep.
Something About Mary. He had a cameo in that. He was the hitchhiker he picked up who was doing 6-minute abs.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. Oh my gosh. You heard of 7-minute abs?
That's Harlan Williams.
Check this out. 6-minute abs.
Yeah. That's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just it's mind-boggling. It's like you're a comedian. How and I know his sense of humor and style of comedy is not for kids.
Correct.
But you could, punch your stuff up a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, or hire a couple of your comic friends to punch it up a little bit.
Call Mike Myers and do it like Shrek did, and see if he can slip some of those Shrek jokes in there or something. Make it palatable for an adult to sit through. But guess he doesn't care about you.
I know. He's not there anymore, man.
He's in the clutches of Naughty Nate.
Naughty 666 jungle floor. So yeah, it's odd. Although I did think it was funny that I think it was during the pandemic. Didn't the cast get together of Half Baked and do like a watch or something like that?
Did they?
I think they did.
I did.
And yeah, and
if they do, I'd like to see that.
Or like a table read or something like that. I have to find it, but I think they did. And I'm pretty sure that Harlan Williams reprised his role of Kenny in that movie.
I'd like to see that. Did they get the whole cast?
Well, the ones that were available.
Did they get like
Jerry Garcia's not around?
Yeah, well,
that wasn't even him.
Yeah, that wasn't even him. He was already dead by the time.
I was just trying to think of anybody else who might be dead.
What's his name? His name just went right out of my head. The comedian, the guy on the couch.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. That's Stephen Wright.
Stephen Wright. Thank you.
Yep.
I wonder if he was involved. Even though he doesn't have much lines in the movie.
Is he still alive?
I think he's still alive. Yeah.
That's a horrible thing to say.
I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
I
haven't heard anything about him. I think he's still with us.
I mean, knock on wood. It's the is-was game.
Yeah, I think he's with us.
Is. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So if you're new to the Mornings with Mike Winters, we play a game here called the is-was game.
Yeah.
That's where if you're not sure if a celebrity is alive or dead, you Google their name and you go to the first paragraph on Google, it'll say they is or they was.
Yeah.
That's a real quick indicator of, and they're like on it. I would love to be the guy in charge of like replacing the is to was and all like the proper pronoun or the proper.
He just sits there and follows celebrities' deaths all day and says,
like, he's like,
we lost Gallagher. Get to the Gallagher Wikipedia page.
It's just that one guy on Wikipedia. And actually, I there was a story, like it was a documentary like a year ago, that 80% of the stuff that was done on Reddit or on Wikipedia was done by one dude.
I imagine that sounds right.
Just one guy was like responsible for like checking, like
creating the
fact-checking
foundation,
everything. Yeah.
Well, and I know and even to this day, they always are hawking for bucks. Hey, if you use Wikipedia, support it by giving us a few dollars.
That's irritating. It's like, Wikipedia does not advertise. No, but you fundraise the crap out of me. It's like now I got to scroll 3 times before I get to any pertinent info.
Like the guy that owns Wikipedia, is he rich?
I can't imagine. It's because it's a nonprofit. But I'm going to find the story about the guy who one guy edits.
Why isn't there a Netflix documentary about this? This is how we learn everything now, is through a Netflix
Stephen
documentary.
Pruitt.
Okay.
He's not even like an employee of the company, I don't think. He's an American Wikipedia editor, the highest number of edits made to English Wikipedia at over 5 million edits.
Okay.
Having made at least one edit to 1/3 of all English Wikipedia articles.
Oh, so he's just a guy that edits a lot.
Actually,
Yeah.
he's basically a gigantic fat guy.
He's the guy with no friends.
Yeah.
Probably.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Got a lot of free time, and he's just fact checking.
So now he's found his niche.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Let me give you the rundown real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes. Then around 9:15 or so, Barbara Gomez with Main Street Roswell will join us and give us an update on what's going on. Of course, we have Black Friday, Small Business Saturday this week, and so we'll talk all about what Main Street Roswell's got planned and all that good stuff there. Is that our guest?
I believe so.
Good deal. Hey, a couple things I want to put on your radar real quick before we do all that. Of course, if you missed my interview at 7 this morning, we had Pastor Jim Ridgway, the gig. They do the services on the courthouse lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to be doing a big Thanksgiving meal giveaway from 11 to 2, Thanksgiving Day. Everyone's invited to share a meal. It's from anytime between 11 and 2. They're going to have services, everything going on there. But looking for volunteers, looking for more donations. And if you don't have plans for Thanksgiving, they'd love to have you come on out between 11 and 2 for free meal, free everything. If you have any questions or want to get involved, help out any way, shape, or form, contact Pastor Jim Ridgway at 575-626-5358. Also, don't forget the Kiwanis Club of Roswell. They have their big fundraising event for the all-inclusive park happening at the Anderson Museum Saturday, December 3rd, a tribute to Carole King with Deb DeLuca. It is going to be a beautiful evening of heavy hors d'oeuvres and the music of Carole King. And again, it's all raising money for the all-inclusive park. It's December 3rd, 7 p.m. at the Anderson Museum. To get tickets, you need to call 575-513-8119. Again, that's 575-513-8119.
How heavy are these hors d'oeuvres?
Pretty heavy.
So they're like, I mean, it takes 2 hands to get a friend to carry it.
You might want to do some workouts, sculpt your guns.
You got to team lift this bad boy.
That's right. Yes, bend at the knees.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Roswell Joy Center. They've got their Christmas breakfast coming up Saturday, December 3rd, at the Joy Center, 1822 North Montana, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tickets are $10, and of course they'll have the full breakfast fare. For more information, you can contact 575-914-0285. Again, that's 575-914-0285. Delivery will be available as well. If you'd like to be a vendor at the event, call Alex, 575-914-0285. Same number there.
Indeed.
All right, it is 9:15. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. You'll like the first part, whether you like the rest, not so sure.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. No big storm systems headed our way. Things look fair all the way through Thanksgiving Day. About 60 on our high today. We have high pressure over the Four Corners covering our area, so we should get a mix of sunshine and clouds. Cloudy overnight down to the low and mid-30s, and then we'll get a few clouds on Wednesday, but some sunshine as well. Our high in the mid-60s. Cooler but sunny Thanksgiving Day, low 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 39 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 60%. Winds currently out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today. Expect a high near 58. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear with an overnight low of 31 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, nice. Enjoy it. Sunny, 65 for a high. Winds will be out of the south 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear. Looking at an overnight low of 35 degrees. West winds 10 to 15. And then Thanksgiving Day happens, and it's not as nice as they were saying earlier in the week. They're talking partly cloudy, high of only 47, and the winds will be up out of the north, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Thursday night, we're looking at a 30% chance of rain showers before midnight, then it changing over to snow. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 31. Again, chance of precip is at 30%. Friday, we are looking at a 30% chance of snow before noon. Then it changing over to rain and a mix of rain and snow. Mostly cloudy with a high of 45. Precipitation once again at 30% Friday. Friday night, 20% chance of some rain showers before midnight, then changing over to snow after that. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 31. And then looking at the weekend, Saturday, sunny 53, sunny on Sunday, highs of 56 expected there. All right, it is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And then Barbara Gomez with Main Street Roswell are going to join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
December 17th is National Wreaths Across America Day. On this day, wreaths are placed on the graves of fallen veterans around the country. Locally, American Legion Post 61 has a goal of placing 300 wreaths on the graves of veterans in Roswell, with special attention paid to veterans at Memory Lawn Memorial Park. Please help American Legion Post 61 by sponsoring a wreath this holiday season. Cost is only $15 per wreath, but the important thing you need to know is to get your sponsorship in by November 29th. Log on to roswelllegion.org to sponsor a wreath today. Thank you for helping support our mission.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And then watch them stare at you funny. Good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning from Main Street Roswell, Barbara Gomez and Xanthia Wright back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you today? I think you're almost ready. She was telling me she's been up grinding on pies and getting everything ready here. Are you guys ready for Thanksgiving?
I'm not sure I'm ready for it because I have a long ways to drive. I'm going all the way to Colorado, remember?
Oh. I'm just going to ABQ, so mine's not that long.
I'm not hosting anything, so I just got to eat.
You just got to eat.
I'm ready. Wow.
Is someone else preparing it?
Yes.
Sweet. You got the ultimate sweet gig there. You don't even have to cook none of it. You just show up and grub. Do you get to take leftovers?
That's what I was going to say. Do you get to take leftovers? That's the fun part.
That's the ultimate Thanksgiving win right there. You get the best of both worlds. Mm-hmm. Enjoy and none of the work.
That's right. So, no, I like I said, I worked on it this morning, made my, apparently, according to my husband, famous pecan pie, so I may add it and enter it into one of our contests sometime, Cynthia. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't think it's that famous, but I think it's good.
Well, you got to get it to people, and then they eat it, and then it becomes famous.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Soon to be famous. Just put it that way.
Yeah, soon to be.
Well, we don't want people to wear themselves out too much on Thanksgiving.
Nope.
Because right after that is very busy time. We've got,
very busy.
Of course, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. Main Street Roswell's doing their thing with this weekend. It's
this weekend.
Yeah, this is it's we want to remind folks to shop in our local merchants and come and visit and check out all the beautiful products and things, gifts
ideas out there. Lots of them.
Absolutely.
If some of you missed it and noticed that, wait a second, the light poles aren't decorated yet. They will be decorated this weekend.
Okay.
So
It's game on this weekend.
Game on this weekend.
All right.
Absolutely.
Hopefully the weather cooperates with us.
No, I understand it's supposed to be pretty good. So even if it isn't, they're going up.
Their lights are going up one way or another.
They're going up. So you notice the lights are already up on the Christmas trees already. But
Yeah,
now
they look great.
Now we're getting ready to decorate the poles.
I'm not going to lie. I know we're not supposed to, but even though it's November and I'm seeing the lights, I'm like, we should just keep them all year. I know. We're not. It's faux pas. And it's like the McRib. It's not special if it's up all the time, but.
Well, if you think about it, they'll be up. They've been up since probably a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, they've been up, and they'll be up through February, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they stay up till February, so you do get a few months with them, which I'm thankful for. But I ain't gonna lie, it puts me in a better mood because I come in the mornings when it's still dark, and you're just like ho hum, and then you hit the part with all the lighted trees, and you're just kind of like, oh, how pretty.
We've had a number of people say, why don't you guys leave them up all the time? But just to let you know, this is a project of one of our Main Street partners.
This is true.
Yeah. And so she does all the fundraising. And then this is Miss Wendy. And she does all the fundraising. So this is basically a $20,000 project worth of donations.
Every year.
That's an incredible give.
Every year.
Well, we're very thankful for that.
Yeah,
You put me in a better mood every day, and it costs $20,000. I'm sorry about that, but
that's okay. I mean, but if you guys, you're out there and you say, you know what, I want to leave them up a little bit longer. Maybe you might want to donate toward this project, and you never know. Maybe we'll leave them
$1,000.
up. Yeah, maybe we'll
give you another week.
leave them up a little longer.
Someone got to pay the light bill. Just remember.
That's right. That's right.
And they're all LED, but it's still a light bill, and it's still quite pricey. So. Trust me, we have a few radio towers. We're aware about expensive light bills. So
plus putting up and taking them down, that's a lot of work. And maintaining them.
And we have some great people that do that each year. And again, these are all the behind the scenes people that we just come and see them and think, oh, how pretty. But there's a lot of logistics, a lot of unsung
heroes.
That are there making these things happen. So we do greatly appreciate these folks. So. So come see it for yourself this weekend. Come on out. Talk a little bit about what you guys have planned and all the different, because there's a slurry of things that are going on
There's
downtown
all kinds
this
of
weekend.
stuff going on. I'll let Xanthia tell you about it.
Xanthia, she wanted you to talk.
Okay. So
quiet.
In December, we are going to be doing the Christmas Light Parade on the second, Friday the 2nd.
Yes, which is next weekend, by the way.
Next weekend,
yeah.
yes.
Starting at 6 o'clock. It's going to just basically the natural parade route, College down to 3rd. And then afterwards, we will have Santa help light the large Christmas tree that is going to be on the courthouse.
There is one rule with the floats. There's only one Santa at
only
the Christmas
one Santa,
parade.
that is correct.
There's only one Santa.
Yeah,
And
you can have like
You can have,
Santa pictures and things, but
yes.
As far as a man that looks like a jolly old Saint Nick, there's only one.
Only one. That's
Only
right.
one.
It's one of those things where we weren't sure we even had a Santa. Then all of a sudden we have a bunch of Santas.
Now you got
Now we have
dueling
to narrow
Santas.
it down to a Santa.
Yeah, we're going to have a Santa off.
That's a good idea.
Sexy Santa.
With the tree that we are lighting, that actually has also been through donations. And how much has that cost?
That was around $17,000 and is a 20-foot Christmas tree.
Wow, that's pretty.
I mean, it's going to be huge.
That is
it's
big.
pre-lit. And what's cool about this, again, this is one of our community partners, Devin Bullock, that helped us out with this one.
Oh, great.
And so the way this tree is set up, it's got layers on the bottom.
Okay.
So every year, if you decide you want to make it a little bit bigger, you add another layer
It's like
to
the
the
Stanley Cup. You add tiers.
Yeah, you add
You
tiers.
just add them on the bottom.
I like
and
it.
Yeah.
we can make it larger. But we got to fundraise for that because it's all donation.
Sure. So if you'd like to contribute, we'll tell you how to do that here in a bit.
Exactly.
Right.
Good deal.
So also on Friday, we're going to be having community choir Christmas caroling all on the courthouse lawn.
Okay. Is that this Friday? Or?
That is still next Friday.
Next Friday,
after
the 2nd. Yeah,
after the light parade.
Yeah, this is all the 2nd, that weekend.
This is all Friday the 2nd. Yes.
I mean, we have Black Friday this weekend and Small Business Saturday, so there's a lot. We want you to be downtown shopping. But kind of the festive stuff will be next weekend, the first weekend of December.
That's right.
Here.
The first weekend in December is correct.
We're officially ringing in the holiday season.
Right.
Christmas season.
Right.
I mean,
right.
I know it started back in August, but officially we're going to say December.
Or say Christmas in July or whatever.
And of course it is the first Friday of the month, so we'll also have all of our merchants open later.
A festive first
entertainment.
Friday.
Yes, a lot of the businesses are definitely participating the first Friday.
And then usually there's like live music in Reichman Park and different activities, and so there'll be all of that going on as usual.
Right.
I'm not sure if we're going to have Reichman Park because we'll have so much going on at the courthouse lawn.
So we kind of want to keep people there.
Because we have
usually
choirs
food trucks and stuff hang out in that area too. So that'll be a nice spot if you want to get a meal and sit down and have something before you go back to doing all your stuff.
Yeah. And also, if I could, on Friday from 4 to 6, downtown merchants shopping and treats. That doesn't just mean shopping, but there are treats. There's a number.
Don't sleep on the treats.
Yeah. So just to let you know, we'll have a list and we will put it on Facebook really soon here.
Okay.
A number of merchants will be having hot chocolate.
Okay.
So if you go shopping with them, you can have some chocolate.
Depending on the weather, might be more popular than others.
Some are going to have candy. Some are going to have cookies. Some are going to do popcorn.
And those are popular all
So,
the time.
don't forget to shop Main Street. So whenever we say treats, we really mean come shopping and have a treat.
The thing I love about our local Main Street, our downtown district here, is you literally can find anything, and if you can't, they will look for it for you.
Mm-hmm.
They, we've got specialty shops. So if you're looking for clothing, to housewares, to gifts and collectibles, to the touristy sightseeing stuff, we got all of that here downtown.
Right.
Gems, rocks, antiques. There's pretty much a category. Not every category is covered in the Main Street.
Yeah, I think
corridor for the
so.
most
I think
part.
so.
Shoot. If you need to put dirt in people's stockings, go over to Roswell Seed. They got you covered.
Dirt or
well, I don't know if they have any coal laying around, but next best thing, we'll throw some dirt in there.
Throw some dirt in there, right.
On Friday night for the light parade, we are going to be asking the participants to take a picture of their own float and put it up on our Facebook page, and then we will have voting open through, I think, like December 23rd or something.
I think that's right.
So get your float floated up and ready to go.
Yes.
Take a picture and then send it to Main Street Roswell, and then it'll be part of the
community voting on Facebook.
People's choice here, their favorite
Mm-hmm.
floats and things. What's the theme for this year's light parade? Is there any particular theme?
Well, our theme overall is called Christmas at the Movies.
Okay, so kind of sticking with that Christmas at the movies theme.
Christmas at the movies theme.
So basically
you can do anything.
Your favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, you recreate your favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah, if you're a fan of, say, Elf, maybe recreate a scene from Elf or The Grinch.
That's right.
Or any of the classics.
Frosty the Snowman.
It's a Wonderful
Rudolph
Life.
the Rat.
Maybe you want to do a black and white type of situation with It's a Wonderful Life. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
And pull that off.
Yeah, we're also going to do that for our Main Street window decorating contest.
Okay.
So if you go up and down Main Street, you might see that they're all different, but they are based on the movies that they liked when they were kids.
And if all else fails, just find a Norman Rockwell calendar and pick any of the Christmas images from that and do that. You'll be just fine.
Right. Because it's kind of an old-fashioned, maybe a fun one.
Sure,
but,
tradition.
Yeah, tradition.
Back to tradition kind of feel to it.
Yeah, so that leads back into on Saturday, we will be starting the window decorating for all the businesses downtown that want to participate. We will be taking those pictures and getting them uploaded, but it's still going to be people's choice on Facebook. Vote for your favorite. Vote for all of them if they're just great. I had a hard time picking last year.
Well, and you know what? That's the beauty of this. We're not picking a president, so you can vote more than once if you've got more than one favorite.
Yes,
Please vote for all your favorites. Give them all love.
Right.
So, and then at noon on Saturday, we're going to have our downtown merchant shopping, our holiday market. That's what we're calling it.
Okay.
So we're going to have food trucks and vendors.
Okay.
Yep.
And we also are going to have a free kids craft area.
Okay.
From 12 to 4 that's going to be hosted by the library.
So if you're looking for like homemade craft gifts and things, you'll probably find quite a few vendors offering those types of things.
Yes,
So if you missed like the Holiday Magic show here last weekend, maybe you can pick up some of the slack here at this event.
That's correct. And we are still looking for vendors.
So
good deal.
if
So if,
have your own booth.
if you're looking to make a little bit more money for the holidays here, we got another opportunity.
Another opportunity. If you make wreaths or if you make goodies of some sort, I've had a number of people call me that create things, that make things, that are selling tables and different things. They'll be out there. We also have coffee out there, chocolate out there. We'll have little donuts. We'll have treats right across the street over at Sweet Baby Jay's if you need to go across there and go get something.
You're in trouble when you leave that because there's so many good things.
Do not go in there. That's a great place.
No, do go in there.
Do go in there.
But I'm telling you, if you have low willpower, you're going to be in trouble.
I just hold my credit card out and just go this.
It's like, I'll take it.
I'll take another one of those. But over on 4th Street, we're going to have food trucks all up and down 4th Street. So if you think about it, Baby Jay's, then when you have the food trucks on 4th Street, then you have vendors up and down throughout the courthouse lawn. And then also around the front of it, possibly if we need it, we might have some extra trucks on the side that will have coffee and the donuts.
And if you're not familiar with some of the food trucks we have that locally come out to like First Friday and events like this, they're top notch. They're getting some of the best food in town is coming out of a truck. And I'm telling you right now. If you haven't experienced that, go come out to this event or any of these Main Street Roswell events and sample some. Just use it as get hungry enough to make sure you try at least something each time you go out to one of these food trucks.
Right. I mean, we're going to have Eli's out there. We're going to have Tacos Pita. We're going to have, I'm trying to think who else I'm going to have out there. I think Roadrunner's going to be out there. So there's a lot of different food trucks that'll be out there during that time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come out, bring your family, start there at 12 o'clock. Oh, and then, of course, right smack at 2 to 5. That's when the fun starts for kids.
Yes, we're going to be having free photos with Santa.
Okay.
And they'll be sent digitally to your phone. But we're paying for the photographer to come out.
Nice.
So all the pictures for the families will be free.
Great. So
and
then you get a free one there and right to your phone. And then you can share it, Facebook it, whatever you do with all that stuff. So or get it printed and framed or whatever you want to do.
So we'll have the vendors going till about 6. And then the food trucks we're going to leave open till 8.
Okay.
Because at 6 o'clock we're starting the movie. So
yeah,
if anyone wants to
have the get your eat on before you sit down and snack.
Bring your.
And then you got to go. You got to hit the next round because if you ate earlier in the day, now you got to get your movie snacks. For sitting down and enjoying the movie.
So we bought the rights for Polar Express. That's what we'll be showing. And so be sure to bring your blankets and chairs. It's going to be on the courthouse lawn.
Yeah.
Out on the inflatable screen.
Yeah. So come and then get you hot cocoa or you get you some nachos or whatever you're into and sit and enjoy this movie. And obviously, it's one of those that if you haven't seen, it's a classic movie that everybody, I think at some point or another, checks out. But it's I always think of it as the modern version of Wizard of Oz to me, where every year it was kind of a tradition as a kid to watch Wizard of Oz and everything. I think Polar Express is the modern version of that. I think families nowadays try to make that a tradition.
Right. And I think it's really spectacular on that huge screen. The huge screen will be sitting on the north side of the lawn.
Okay.
And the sound that comes out of that is great.
So you have no problem hearing?
No, you have no problem.
But yeah, it's cool to sit on the lawn and watch it.
Yeah, bring your chairs, bring blankets, get prepared for cold because it may be cold.
Yeah, bundle up with your
that's
cocoa.
The fun of it. I mean, that really is the fun
Everyone
of it.
Everyone nuzzled up in the blankets with their little stocking caps on watching the Polar Express.
Yeah. But
someone yelling, "Quit guarding the blanket! Give me some of the blanket!
Give me some of the blanket!
Part of the family fun. So
part of it.
So anyone who makes blankets, it's a good opportunity.
Yeah,
really.
And by the way,
bring them to our vendors.
I've been seeing advertisements for like these huge blankets now that some companies are making out there
for a whole family or what?
Yeah, a whole living room.
Yeah, it's like literally, it's like however big your living room is. It's like that big. It's really that you can literally.
Oh wow!
It's almost like
the dog.
It reminds me like if you remember like old Looney Tunes days and they had like the bed and they had, I think it was, or maybe it was Disney, but they would have like 10 Donald and all the little ducks. And there was like 10 of them in the bed. They need that kind of the blanket just to fit a bed like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, come make family memories with Main Street Roswell. That's what it's all about.
And you know what? We are still looking for entries into the parade.
Okay.
So it's not.
What's the drop dead deadline to get your entry?
It is. Let me see. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but it's going to be the last part of November. So even like what is it, Wednesday or Thursday? Yeah.
Okay.
As long as you get back with us right before. So yeah.
So next Wednesday.
Yeah,
maybe?
next Wednesday, next Thursday. I mean, we're probably not going to turn you down if you call us, but we just would like to be able to have your name, your information, so that we can line you up.
It takes some logistics to line up a parade. It does take
logistics.
And I've been involved in enough parades to know whether there's 10 floats or 200 floats, it's still a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And so some of our board members will be helping out to make sure that the parade is moving on. Just a little, thing that I want to tell you is that Santa will be on the very last float.
Think of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade where he's the highlight of the parade.
He is the highlight of the parade, and he'll be, once he gets to the end, he'll be getting off of the float and going up to the tree and flipping the switch to turn on our huge Christmas tree. Yeah. So that'll be really fun.
He's got his jet sled parked around back, and then he's going to hop in that.
That's right. That's right. And actually, we are working on getting a sled made right now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. But another good reason for you to want to be a part of the parade, there will be cash prizes for first, second, and third for our parade.
Nice.
So don't want to miss out. Yeah, a little bit of money doesn't hurt.
Extra
and you get to have a lot of fun.
Giving money. Yeah.
And also for window decorating for you guys that are on Main Street, we're
have fun with that.
Yeah,
please fun with that. Use it as a marketing tool to get more people to code those doors. The more you set up and the more intricate. And I think Christmas, you could go in so many directions with that. Like if you have enough space, I could easily see like a little train village with the snow.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
Yeah.
If you got that kind of space and have the interest, obviously, to do all that. It does take a little work. I understand.
So I do have a few entries for that, but the rest of you on Main Street need to sign up for stakeholders. Window decorating contest.
It makes it that much more fun because I think that'll give more things for the people to do while they're out shopping and things. It's like, we got to make one more trip because we didn't check out the Christmas displays at the businesses on 3rd Street or wherever.
Right.
That's what we want to see.
So we're trying to coordinate, like I told you, our Santas, but I do know that we're going to have some Santas that may be walking down, Mr. and Mrs. Santa, maybe walking up and down the streets also before it's time for them to take pictures, just to say hello, just waving to a few people, going into a few merchants.
The greeting Santa.
Yeah, the greeting Santa.
Not the official Santa.
So we have
Those are greeting Santa. So.
Coordinate our Santas. How's that?
Well, now you're getting into Disney territory here.
I know.
Coordinate their Mickeys and coordinate.
Can you imagine that? My goodness.
Well, they got an intricate, have you ever read like those like factoids they throw up on social media from time to time and like 30 things you didn't know about Disney? And I've actually watched. I went down those rabbit holes and like they have like the whole underground thing, and so there's like restrictions on when this Mickey can come out where and how this and Donald, and it's a whole thing they got. But there's a whole underground tunnel system under Disney World that they shoot them around.
I've watched those. Even when they show those on the big cruise ships.
Yeah.
I mean, they're ridiculous how they put in that much food. And
so we don't have that though, right? We don't have underground tunnels that we can move Santa around.
No, we do space. Remember?
That's right.
We do space stuff.
We beam them.
That's right.
We got an alien tractor beam. We just beam them from one area to the other.
That's right.
They left it for us in 47. So.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have any questions about anything we're talking about here, there's several different ways you can ask questions and reach out. I always say you should like and follow the Main Street Roswell Facebook page. It's the best way to get information fast. Anytime there's a new event or if there's changes, like if there's some kind of weather or other related issue to an event, that's where it goes first. So you stay up to date on that. And of course, ask questions if you need to, hey, shoot a message through that way. And Barbara or any of the Main Street Roswell
or anybody that, one of us will answer those questions for you.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can go to the website, mainstreetroswell.org, and see all of your information there. If you ever wanted to, say, be a vendor in a future First Friday or be a band that performs, you'll find all of the applications and information on how to do that there. So if you're like, man, I loved all this stuff. I'd love to come back in January and play our band or set up a food truck or do our nonprofit or something like that, you'll find everything you need there, too.
Yeah.
And is there any other resources that we want to steer people to?
No, I don't think so. Unless you would like a poster, let us know. We'll put one at your business.
Yeah.
Also, I do encourage you to be on Main Street Roswell, like our Facebook, because we don't plan. I mean, the show will go on, but you never know. if something comes up and the weather turns horrible or something like that.
And then sometimes you get additions.
Yeah,
like some
but you
vendor
get
comes in and
additions
it's like,
or whatever.
we just, at last minute, so-and-so has been added.
Oh,
Come on and check
I didn't
them
know
out.
you were doing that. Can I join you guys? Schools, we encourage you. Cheerleaders, tumblers. You have a fun car. You have a big car. You have motorcycles. I mean, we encourage you to decorate them.
Absolutely.
It's free. It doesn't cost anything to be in the parade.
The light
and you
parade's
might-
a lot of fun. It's always fun every year.
Yeah.
We have it. It's a tradition here, and we'd love to get people to participate. So come
That's
and
right.
have fun. To be honest, technology's made it a lot easier with LED lighting and things. It's a lot cheaper. You don't have to have an engineering degree in electronics to figure out how to light up your car now.
Right.
And so it's pretty fun. So come.
Yeah.
And what the fun part is seeing everyone's vision, creative, because you get some creative ideas every year. There's always one or two. You're like, man, that person's got some imagination right there.
That's funny that you said engineers. The first year that I ever did a light parade, I did it with Kiwanis.
Okay.
And I worked with two or three of the men in my group. I've never seen so many men be so intricate about where lights go.
And all three didn't have any idea what they were doing.
No,
did they?
they're all
They
engineers.
all sound like experts, and none of us knew what they were doing.
Yeah, no, but these guys were, and so I just sat back and put lights wherever they said. But it was well worth it because actually you could see what the words were. Were some of the floats that were out there that looked like they said blah blah blah. You couldn't read it at all because it was like, what's that say?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
jumbled something there.
It's a jumbled something.
But that's the fun of it. So
That is
please,
the fun of it.
again, you've got till next Wednesday to get your entries in for the light parade, and then by all means, this Friday, Saturday, support our merchants. Shop downtown here for Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and then
Small
next
Business
weekend,
Saturday for sure.
Absolutely, and then next weekend, please join us for our big as we ring in the Christmas season. Come out for the light parade. Come on out for all the fun and festivities. Again, visit these merchants and shop. Enjoy the food. Enjoy all the the celebration and everything that's going on, and just use it to get your family in the Christmas spirit.
Yes.
Oh yeah, let's thank our sponsors.
Go
Absolutely,
ahead.
because without those folks, this doesn't happen. So
Well, of course, Excel Energy is
Excel
always
Energy.
one of our
they're in the
sponsors.
light business.
And as far as the sponsors for the light parade, I mean the lights themselves, we've got an arm's length of those, so I don't have them right in front of me. But
Okay.
we always have a lot of sponsors. And next time maybe you
When
don't
you're
talk
in
about-
next time, we'll
yeah,
thank
we'll
every
talk
single
about
one of
them.
them. That'd
But we just
'cause
have
they
so
don't-
many of them. This
but-
one didn't even have them on the top.
Yeah,
but
I know.
we do have one that does have them
Yeah,
across
mine
the top.
doesn't either.
Yeah,
I think
yours
so.
doesn't either. But
I checked. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
sponsors.
where are the sponsors?
They're not on the first
when you guys
revision
are in
poster.
next time,
We'll make sure and talk about them. But thank you, Mike. We do appreciate you thinking
Anytime.
about our sponsors.
And of course, if you're looking to get involved, Main Street Roswell's always looking for volunteers.
We are.
Probably board members too. They're always looking for fresh perspectives to serve on the board. Reach out through Facebook or anything if you're interested
That's
in
right.
serving in any way capacity. Like you said, we do like these events for lighting up in this weekend and all that. Like the plans to put the lights up this weekend. Guess what? That stuff doesn't magically shoot up.
No.
It takes an army of volunteers for that.
It
to
does.
happen.
It
9
absolutely-
o'clock at Foxworth.
Yep.
Foxer Galbraith,
Yes.
right here, right on the south end of the Main Street
That's right.
corridor.
Yes,
they're
that's
the
where we're
far-
going to meet up. And
Yeah,
then
don't use my pointing. I have
I
no
don't
sense of
know.
direction.
I don't
have
either.
no
Those
idea
are
where I'm
where
at.
I'm
I
at.
point the wrong way every day. People that know long enough just don't rely on
So
me.
just don't rely on me. Hey, I'm directionally challenged, so don't rely on
Very
me
much.
either. So
Yeah, I lose my bearing and I forget which way's north. But as always, yeah, appreciate it. And,
Thank you so much.
You guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank
you.
And don't work too hard. I know you've already been slaving away at the pies and
Yes.
everything, but take time to enjoy it. And good on you for not having to do anything but
Lucky you.
Show up.
bring your pie hole.
That's right.
Excellent. Thank you guys, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you next time.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, it is 9:45. Let's go ahead and pause for news. Hannity update, quick break as well. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The Eddy County Sheriff's Office has issued a missing persons alert for a Carlsbad boy. Kyler Fernandez is a 14-year-old boy. He was last seen in the 300 block of East Orchard Street around noon on November 20th. He was wearing a red sweatshirt with black polka dots and sweatpants. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is urged to contact the Sheriff's Office, 575-887-7551. You can also just call 911. A group of South American engineers recently visited Carlsbad to see how the city dealt with that massive brine well remediation site. The project has been a years-long effort to prevent the massive underground hole from collapsing a large part of the city. The Carlsbad brine well was used from 1978 to 2008. The engineers said they were hoping to better understand how to deal with similar situations in other countries. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Look how long the FBI had the laptop from hell. They had it long before the New York Post reported on it in the weeks just before the 2020 election. And then everybody went out there. At that point, why didn't the FBI do this investigation? Now, there's low-hanging fruit on the laptop, according to everybody that's reported on it. And that is, you got Hunter with prostitutes, Hunter on video doing drugs, all sorts of other little stuff that they could have gone after him for, but he's not been charged with a thing. This is now 4 years in the making. Did he pay taxes on any of this money that he was making from all of these foreign countries? Nobody wanted to pay attention to the real quid pro quo.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
All right, Black Friday savings start right now at Blinds.com with up to 50% off everything. That includes big doorbusters. Blinds.com has everything you will need to upgrade your entire home. Plus, with professional design consultants, installation services, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, Blinds.com makes it easy. Shop now, Blinds.com, their Black Friday sale, and save up to 50% off everything and big doorbusters. That's up to 50% off at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
BrickHouseNutrition.com launched their massive Black Friday sale. Everything on the site is 30% off, which includes their #1 selling product, Field of Greens. This superfood powder is packed with the perfect balance of fruits and veggies. Kickstart your journey to better health during the biggest sale of the year. Go to BrickHouseNutrition.com and enter promo code OFFER to get 30% off everything. BrickHouseNutrition.com, promo code OFFER.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. No big storm systems headed our way. Things look fair all the way through Thanksgiving Day. About 60 on our high today. We have high pressure over the Four Corners covering our area, so we should get a mix of sunshine and clouds. Cloudy overnight down to the low and mid-30s, and then we'll get a few clouds on Wednesday, but some sunshine as well. Our high in the mid-60s. Cooler but sunny Thanksgiving Day, low 50s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston. Only modest growth in the world economy is expected this year, and next year's outlook is worse.
According to a report from the Paris-based Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the world economy will grow just 3.1% this year, down sharply from a robust 5.9% in 2021. Next year, the OECD predicts would be even worse. It predicts the international economy will expand only 2.2%.
Correspondent Jeremy House says high interest rates, punishing inflation, and Russia's war against Ukraine are to blame. Best Buy's profit and sales slipped in the third quarter on weakening demand for electronic gadgets, but the retailer beat expectations and said a downturn in sales this year will not be as bad as expected. The Dow opened higher this morning. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston.
Sound the alarm. Backdraft Barbecue is ready to set your taste buds on fire with the best slow smoke barbecue around, by the plate or by the pound. Plus truly one-of-a-kind creations like brisket nachos or the 5-alarm bowl, or a savory Sammy like the hook and ladder, or take on the 1098 challenge seen on Man vs. Food. With over 4 pounds of everything Backdraft makes, will you make the Wall of Fame or the Wall of Shame like Casey Webb of Man vs. Food? Open Tuesday through Saturday 11 to 8 and Sundays 11 to 5 in Roswell at 301 Railroad Avenue. Backdraft Barbecue, alarmingly delicious.
The numbers don't lie. Crime is up in southeastern New Mexico. In 2021, Roswell had almost 40 crimes per 1,000, including larceny, assault battery, burglary, motor vehicle theft, robbery, and homicide. These days, the best defense you can get is having a locally owned company install the best security system available. That's Zena Security Services. They offer real security solutions for your home and business. When it comes to your safety, you need a locally owned, locally minded security company at your defense. Call Zena Security Services today, 575-626-3521, 575-626-3521. 3521.
It takes a long time to develop trust. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, they've been earning your trust for decades. They understand how important it is to friends and family to celebrate a life in the way you choose. The professionals at LaGrone will ease your stress and anxieties. They'll provide the guidance you need to select a service that's appropriate. And that's what they've been doing for generations, earning your trust and doing the right thing. LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, 900 South Main in Roswell. Online at LaGroneFuneralChapels.com.
Mark your calendars, shoppers. The Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree is set for December 10th and 11th at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. Over 90 booths featuring all kinds of arts and crafts, candles, jewelry, clothing, keychains, home decor, kitchen and bath accessories, and so much more. Bring the family. There's something for everyone. Santa Claus will be there both days. There's plenty to eat and drink, too, with several food trucks on site. The Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree, December 10th and 11th at the Eddy County Fairgrounds, and paid by Eddy County Lodgers Tax.
Have you ever had someone do something kind and out of the ordinary for you? How did that make you feel? I know for me, it brightens my day. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not get tired of doing what's right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." I've learned when you don't know what to do, just do the next right thing. Keep sowing good things into your spouse and your family. Be patient. God promises He will give you a harvest. It will make a difference. A successful farmer just keeps on working and expects to have a great harvest.
I know when my husband brings me flowers, it blesses me. So do something unexpected for your spouse. It will pay off.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Has the cost of health insurance kept you from enjoying the peace of mind knowing you and your family are covered for unexpected medical issues? Then we have great news just for you. Quality health insurance is more affordable than ever, thanks to federal and now state-funded financial assistance. Most uninsured New Mexicans will qualify for lower out-of-pocket costs than ever before. Let the friendly and knowledgeable team at Be Well NM guide you through the process to help you find out how little you can pay for quality, name-brand health insurance. And our services are free. Visit BeWellNM.com today.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 54 minutes after 9 o'clock. Got a few minutes here before we wrap up today's show. If you missed any part of the show, I invite you to check it out at your leisure. Log on to KSVPTV.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you will find all of our interviews there. We had a full slate for you today. We had Pastor Jim Ridgway join us from the gig in the 7 o'clock hour, and they are inviting everyone out to a free Thanksgiving meal this Thanksgiving, beginning at 11 and going till about 2 on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. All are invited to be a part of that. 8 o'clock hour, we had Sergeant Frescus and Amy Mateus join us, and we talked about the Chihuahuita Project, which is a lot of cool information there. Invite you to go back and check that out if you have not seen it yet. Yeah, should turn your mic
Little
on.
Chihuahua.
And then, of course, this hour we just had Barbara and Xanthia from Main Street Roswell join us, talking all about this weekend and next with Main Street Roswell. Lots of stuff happening there.
Yes, indeed. Dude, I had a moment over the weekend. I don't want to hijack your show. I had a moment over the weekend.
A moment?
A moment.
Yes.
So now I've confessed the fact that it's not one of those things I get to like talk about much in public because it's not exactly, I'm super proud of it. I'm admittedly a pro wrestling fan.
Okay. Oh, you've talked about it.
I've talked about it a few times. I don't really go out with it because
it's
like
that big a secret.
Right. But there's certain moments that happen that just you're like you almost expect them to happen, but then they blow your entire mind. So the setup for this is as follows. About a month ago, this team, Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, were suspended. They've been off TV for 6 weeks. They've been running these vignettes about them coming back, essentially. About 2 weeks ago, the United States Patent Office, somebody submitted a trademark for the name The Wayward Sons.
Okay.
But that trademark was pulled. They weren't able to get the patent for it. So I saw that. I'm like, I wonder if they're not doing something with their entrance when they come back. So Full Gear was over the weekend. That was their big return. They run this video package beforehand, and this package says, the last part says, carry on. And there's a long pause. I'm like, oh my God. Oh no, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. It's a long pause. My kids were like sitting right next to me, and they were like eating my excitement because I was like schoolboy excited. And then it hit. Carry on my way. I was like, yes, they did it. I right now I have all over goosebumps just thinking about it again. It's one of those moments. It's like, this is why I'm a fan of pro wrestling. It's for moments like this.
Well, right on. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was great. I can't even explain it. But yeah, it was one of those moments where I got to share with my kids because like they saw my excitement. Cool. And they don't really care much about pro wrestling, but
not yet.
My daughter likes the women's matches, which there's some hope there.
And I bet the boy will get into it.
Because I bet she could be a bruiser, dude. I bet she could be like an Aja Kong style, like, bruiser wrestler. But yeah, no, it was just one of those moments when it was like they pulled out. I don't know how much Tony Khan had to spend to get Carry On My Wayward Son, but it was great.
Good.
It was great.
I imagine it's that expensive. They haven't done much. I don't know. Of course, there's been a bunch of movies and stuff too.
That's true.
Maybe there's a going rate for it. Like you can like I'm sure in those circles there's some kind of website or app that they can shop to purchase on
probably
the music rights or something. There's some kind of system for that.
Both big like federations, they have like on staff talent that write, entrance music and stuff. And a lot of it's like sound alikes and things like that. But Tony Khan, the guy who runs AEW, he's a sucker for it. He's Shad Khan's son, so he's like a mega billionaire. So he's got money to play around with. He's a sucker for getting entrance licensed entrance themes. He got Where Is My Mind from Blind Melon, I believe it is.
Okay.
For Orange Cast. It's just like a bunch of like licensed, like Wild, the alternate version of Wild Thing, the one that I can't remember that some chick sings, is Moxley's entrance theme. And it's just, people love that kind of thing.
See, if I'm him, I'd get the Major League version.
Well,
Major League 2, I think.
He blew it. That's that one. It is that one. Yeah.
That one?
With the girl that's singing.
Yeah. Well, I want like the crowd too. The whole crowd. Wild Thing.
Well, the crowd does it for him.
Come on, Wild Thing. What that whole thing.
He bought a theme for this dude Jungle Boy, and it's literally just so the crowd can sing. He bought Jungle Life or whatever it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, Tarzan Boy. That's what it's called. So he does these for the moments, for the pop. But man, dude, that was one of those like. It was right up there with the same feeling I got when when Hulk Hogan became the third man in the NWO back in '95. I was sitting there live watching that, and I was floored. It was that same. It took me right back to that level of excitement.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It was a good moment, Tater.
Wonder if Metallica will license me some theme music for wrestling.
So you can get one.
Yeah.
Longest entrance in history of radio.
I'll come in looking great. I'll get my butt handed to me, but I'll look good coming in.
That's right.
If nothing else. All right, we got to go. We'll see you tomorrow morning. We'll do one more show tomorrow and be back Monday after that. Take care, everybody. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
See you.
KEND or Roswell, New Mexico. Thank you. Have an amazing day.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall.